Hello everyone, welcome to the stream, a stream in which all we're going to talk about for the next 3 hours is drugs and drug use. Is that okay?
Gotta get banged up in a back alley down in Bristol somewhere
Jesus.
with some of that black tar
Christ.
heroin. I'm
It's
gonna
Jason
smoke
Bourne.
at least 3 heroines.
Smoke
Only
3
3
heroines.
heroines, eh? I'm gonna do at least 7 heroines, eh, today, alright, eh?
I'm gonna
Why-
pop 3 heroin tablets into my arm.
Why
Why
are you
what?
doing that with your names on Discord?
Why-
That is so obnoxious.
Don't hate us because we're beautiful.
Wow.
Wow.
What if I need to poke you?
You tight. Hold.
Then I only want the poking in real life. I ain't taking this over the internet bullshit no more. We on Facebook.
Oh. Wait.
Yeah, sit on
Welcome to
that
the
one for a while.
stream,
Evan.
everyone. it's episode 5. We have new player enter a new player because Kitty has decided to go to school. We didn't realize, but Kitty was 4 years old. She's just turned 5, and she had her first day at school.
Yay.
And so she had to go to school, and so we have found an adequate replacement called Wishfully, Wishfully, Hong Kong Wishfully.
Hong Kong wish.
Oh my god.
Hong Kong wish.
How are you doing, Wish? Welcome to my channel and the
I'm
Walls
glad
of War.
to be here.
We're all glad that you're here. Everybody give Wish a wonderful welcome by drawing a penis in chat with an 8, some equals signs, and a capital D.
Give me the D.
Dick's out for Wish. And maybe she'll grant your wish. We also don't have Pony. He's not here just this week. He hasn't gone to school or anything. He's in Finland or something and has decided to stay there. So he's not here this week. And he'll be back next week, hopefully, if he ever gets back from Finland. I don't know where Finland is in comparison to Sweden, but I'm guessing not very far. Does anyone know world maps?
I have no idea where it is. I couldn't even find it on a map, I'm sure.
I have no idea. So anyway, this is the Walls of Water. I'm sorry, I'm going to keep clearing my throat like all day because I have hay fever and it's just fucking my mouth. There you go. Yeah, so this is the Walls of War. It's a D&D 5e campaign. It is based in the Forgotten Realms, and these 4 people are in Luskan. There's 3 of them, isn't there? Because Thingy's not here, Pony's not here. These 3 people are in Luskan, which is a sort of pirate-based city in the north. Very cold. They were on a mission, on a quest to find out about like an assassination attempt on one of the captains who runs the town. It led them to a situation in which Damien, Tiger's character, murdered the leader of the gang which had been hired to do the assassination, the Willy Boys, and they killed the half-orc known as Olog, and he had 2 other members with him, Kelly, a human, and Yar, a halfling. At the end of last week, Kaval, Leo, and Damien walked into an alleyway, and then lots of archers appeared, 2 on either side of the alleyway on the roofs, 2 behind them, and Kelly and Yar at the top end of the alleyway. And that is where we're going to literally start this week. We're going to pick up straight from there. So if everyone's good to go, I feel like we should just jump in, dive right in.
Oh, well, before
I like the
we-
dive-in things, yes.
Before we dive in head first, I think we
Go
should
on.
have a little drinky drink.
It's
Cheers.
definitely time for a
Cheers.
drink. Everyone, bottoms up for the gang because they're going straight into initiative order. If everyone could roll me an initiative roll. Sorry, Wish, but that includes you as well. I'm sorry to throw you straight into the deep end, but you have. I'm afraid you're going to have to blame these guys for falling into a trap. Oh, that's some good rolls to start the week off.
Well, it wouldn't be right if I didn't fuck up the rolls, you know?
That is true.
How can I copy pasta their stuff?
Okay, so sorry, Wish, I
got-
forget that you're a noob. So what you need to do on your character sheet, right in the center column, you'll see initiative. Click on the word. There you go. Look at that. A critical roll, just immediately with a crit 20.
Is that your first?
First ever roll, crit 20. Oh, I should mention, by the way, so this is no secret now that the screen is up. So Wish's character is OP as shit. Apart from strength, she has higher stats than all of you in everything.
Wait.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, she has higher
I
stats.
saw the tweets about that. I didn't know that was for us.
Yeah, she has
Yeah,
higher
that's
con
weird.
stats than the
Yeah.
barbarian. She has higher int stats than both the barbarian and the bard. She has a higher charisma stat than the bard and the paladin. So yeah, other than strength, Wish is by far the most overpowered character. So
Walk up into the club.
walk up into the club, but the perfect time for an OP character to show up is right now. So, as these guys are doing their initiative things, basically we find ourselves again in this sort of shady alleyway. It's about dusk, so the sun is setting, but it's still like light-ish, fairly light. And yeah, you find yourselves trapped. So, above them, either side of you, there is 4 archers, 2 on either side. They're about 40 feet above you. Okay. The alleyway itself is probably only about 10 feet across, so you can fit side by side 2 of you, but not all 3 of you would be able to move side by side. At the entranceway, there are 2 more archers behind you. They're about 20 feet away, and at the far end, about 60 feet away, are Kelly and Yar. So the archers all have short bows. They don't look like guards or anything like that. They kind of just look like commoners, like maybe mercenaries. They don't seem to be like heavily armored, possibly not even armored at all at your first glance. But they do have short bows trained on you. And at the far end of the alleyway, you see Kelly. She's sort of a human, but she's kind of old looking, kind of leathery skin, greasy hair, piercings, very pirate looking. She looks more like Captain Sparrow than any of the people that you've seen so far in Luskan, probably. And then you have Yar, who's a very short halfling. He's got a big fur coat on, bandana around his head, and both of them have crossbows, light crossbows in their arms. So Leo, Damien, and Kaval are stood at this in the middle of this alleyway sort of thing, and suddenly Leo's eyes bulge and his tongue sort of lolls out of his head, and just as Damien and Kaval sort of notice this, there's a loud pop, and he's no longer with you. However, stood where he previously was is Wish's character. What do you look like, Wish? Give us an idea of how you look physically.
Well, Doria, she's like 5'6". She is a half elf, so she's got the pointy ears, but she actually looks really young. She looks like she's in her 20s or so. Really beautiful. You know how the elves are. They're so freaking hot. Yeah, she's dressed kind of like almost like a hobo almost. Like she has lots of brightly colored scarves around her neck, fingerless gloves with like a it's like a dirty chemise that you would tuck into like tight riding pants and like leather high boots. She has her gear strapped on her back. Her backpack's there, and she's just like, "What's up, guys?"
So it's
Like, yeah.
just suddenly appears. There's just this sexy half elf where Leo, the bard, human bard, was stood. Immediately shows up. What's up, guys?
Well, at this point, I just look over to Damien, just like. I look back over at this half elf and sort of shrug it off for a moment, and I pull my hand. I want to put my hand on her shoulder and stand back, civilian. I'm a little shaken up as to what the fuck just happened.
Yeah, I didn't really mean to do that. Sometimes magic gets a little weird, but I'm sure he's around here somewhere.
I look around, super befuddled. I look back up at the guys with the crossbow, and I'm just kind of like, I don't think any of that matters right now, and I pull my sword out.
Yeah, so you guys get a moment to sort of try and work out what's going on here, and then suddenly you're sort of fired upon. Behind you, one of the archers lets loose an arrow. It flies high above your heads, but it's a clear sign of attack. So Yar and Kelly have already started moving into the alleyway with their crossbows aimed high towards you. Yar, I think, said something at the end of last week, but I think whatever. He's going to say something else. He's going to say, "Right, that's it. Time for our payback." And then we move into just straight up combat, and it is Dorora first.
All right.
Yeah,
Dora
sorry.
is going to literally push aside Cheval's hand and be like, "Don't worry, I got this." And
It's Caval.
Caval.
Caval this time.
Did I say Caval? Caval, whatever. I'm used to the other character. So she's gonna push aside the hand, and she's gonna step forward again. She's like, "Don't worry, I got this." And literally, as the arrow is shot at them, correct? The arrow was shot at them, correct?
Yeah, but it just missed terribly.
Oh, it already missed. Okay.
Yeah, it's missed.
Shut up. All right. Wow, this is intimidating as shit right now.
Well, I'm sorry, you rolled that crit, and no one's
I know,
quicker than you. You showed up and reacted quicker than they did, even though they were already in the alleyway dealing with this situation.
Well, to be fair, we're being attacked, and our friend's eyes bulged out of his head, and he turned into a sexy elf.
Yeah.
We're in a little bit of shock right now.
All right, can I go ahead and can I cast a spell?
Yeah. So what you can essentially do is
Just move and cast a spell, right? Like 2.
move, action, bonus action are the things that you can do on your turn. So your movement is 30 feet. You can move around. But yeah, you can cast a spell or fire off I don't know if you have. What do you have? You have darts and stuff, right? So you could launch one of those. But basically, as a sorcerer, you are going to want to be casting spells. Probably there are archers behind you, 2 of them, 4 above you, and 2 more at the far end of the alleyway who are holding crossbows.
All right, so yeah, she shrugs off Caval, and then she's going to hold out her hand straight in front of her, and she's gonna go ahead and cast Burning Hands towards the archers behind. She spins around at the same time, shrugs her off, spins around, and put her hand out in front of her to do Burning Hands to the guys behind her.
All right, yeah. Technically, you'd have to move a little closer, so we'll say that you just sort of take a few steps behind and then outstretch your hands. Yeah, so just click on Burning Hands, and that will roll that spell for you. Dex saves from my 2 here, so I'm going to roll for these guys. Give me a second. What do they have? I haven't set this up well enough because I didn't expect for this to fully happen. Here we go. 1, fail. 2, make. So they both take... One takes 9 damage and one takes half of that rounded down, so 4. So one of them, the one which you're just ever so slightly closer to, the one more directly in front of you, as you outstretch your hands and all this fire plumes forward, his face just melts off. It's just reduced down to scorched flesh, and there's maybe a little bit of bone sticking through. He kind of looks a bit like Ghost Rider, and then suddenly, boom, slumps to the ground as he gets utterly wrecked by this. The other one kind of shields a lot of his face. You see his arm catch a light and burn up, and he moves backwards a little bit away from you, suffering some terrible burns, but you kill one of them. And the other one looks quite badly hurt. So this half-elf appears and just utterly wrecks one of these archers behind you guys. The next person to do something is going to be the little halfling, Yar, as well as Kelly. They're going to fire their crossbows, one at Damien, one at Caval. So the first one coming in towards...
What?
What do you mean? They want you dead. way more than they want Dorora, the explorer, dead.
I want Damien dead. I fell on my face.
I believe you came running in and went to punch at the woman and then fell over.
In fact, I straight up just fell over. Nothing. Totally wasn't gonna punch her.
Well, they're crazy people, and the first one comes flying in towards Damien. It's a 5, so that's a terrible miss as it launches past your face. It scrapes along the alleyway wall and falls to the ground harmlessly. The next one, the one the woman fires down towards Kaval, is a 10. So again, down the other side of the alleyway. Ping! You guys have the chance to respond now. It is Damien first. What do you want to do?
How far are these guys away?
Which ones? The Kelly and Yar, the leaders?
Yeah, mainly, especially because these. So the one that was that was originally there is there, right? This is the girl and the halfling, right?
Yeah. So they're about 60 feet away down the alleyway.
About 60 feet. So what I do, the first thing I start doing is I realize how far they are away, and first off, I don't really know how to say this since it's not really a cast, but I'm running, and all of a sudden I start looking real pissed off, basically, and I induce into rage. And I go into rage mode, and as I'm running, I run my full, 30 feet. And while I'm running, though, when I'm getting close to the end of my 30 feet, I pull out one of my javelins, and as I'm running, I just chuck it at the halfling.
Okay, yeah. Roll me a javelin. You fire a javelin off as you're running, and whoom, it flies down this alleyway. The halfling is very small, and if this had been a human, you probably would have hit them square in the face. However, it launches above this halfling's head, launches out the other side of the alleyway. This is a pretty busy alleyway. Well, the other side of it is a pretty busy road, but you don't hit anyone, you'll be pleased to know. But the javelin launches beyond the alleyway and lands harmlessly in the street beyond. Kaval, your turn.
Sorry, how far away are they again?
They are about 60 feet.
Oh, boulder dash. Bugger. Oh no, I have javelins too. I like this. All right, I'm gonna follow Damien. I'm gonna pull out one of these javelins. God knows where I got those from, but I'm gonna come running up behind him. I'll run about just a little bit behind Damien, and I'm gonna toss a javelin as well towards the woman.
All
Kelly,
right.
was it?
Yeah, Kelly. Go for it. What happened there? Why did you roll like 4 times, Damien?
I'm really confused on that, too, because I only rolled once.
Okay, that was weird.
I looked back up to it. I was like, did she just roll 3 times? Oh, that's me.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, you hit Kaval. This comes flying in towards Kelly, the human, with all of her greasy hair and piercings. Roll me the damage.
What the fuck, you wish?
What? Wasn't laughing. Okay.
So this javelin launches through the air and it flies true. Kelly managed to sort of move somewhat to the side as it pierces through her leather armor and sticks into her and then falls to one side onto the ground. She has a pretty nasty looking gash/hole on one side of her abdomen, and it starts to pump blood out with every heartbeat. You see a little fresh rivulet of blood push through this leather armor, and she lets out a kind of wild scream. And that is when some arrows are going to launch down from the roofs of the alleyway there. Let me fire some further. My Firefox has decided that now's the time to do the update, and thanks very much, Firefox. Let's roll some dice. First one comes in towards Damien. Second one comes in towards Damien. That one might be a hit. What is your AC?
It is 14.
So that one hits you. You have Rage activated, so you'll do a little bit. This will do a little bit less damage. Then it will do half of whatever this is. 2, so it does 1. So this arrow comes in. It does actually strike Damien, but his scales are extra hard, and he's also sort of super raging out, and it just kind of ping. There's a small scratch on your back there, but you don't notice it. The second one launches itself towards Kaval, and the other two launch 2 arrows towards you. One of them hits, and
you
I think, right? What is your AC?
18.
Yeah. One of these arrows sticks in your shoulder, dealing 3 damage to you. So you can reduce your HP by 3 at this point, and then I think it is Burning Man, we'll call him. The last archer brings out he's got like a little club that he brings out because he's right next to where Dorora is, and he comes running in. So he's right next to you now, and he swings at you with a club, and you are extremely dexterous, very nimble on those elven feet, half-elven feet, and you manage to just avoid being struck by this club, which brings us back around. It is your turn, Dorora. Be aware that anything that you do that is sort of a ranged attack will have disadvantage against someone so close to you.
Right. So at this point, I'm going. Oh, that would pull out. Sorry, I'm a noob, guys, but I'm trying to figure out. Okay.
You're right. Just question me. Go for it.
Well, I know that
I would never normally throw someone under the bus with a combat, but there was no way around it. You're going to try and stab him with the dagger?
Yes.
Yeah, go for it. Just so you just need to click dagger in the attack and spellcasting column. I think. Let me just quickly check before you do it. We'll just check that you actually have that set. No. Let me change this real quick. There we go. Now
I can just click it.
Yeah, now just click it. Oh, it's a critical 1. As you like bring this dagger inwards, this peasant who stood in front of you, he looks kind of frightened. One of his arms is burnt up terribly, the other one holding the club. He's dropped his shortbow behind him, and you bring your arm back to try and stab at him with this dagger, and he kind of does this crazy close quarter combat move, and then turns the arm that you are swinging towards him back at yourself. Give me the damage.
How do I do that?
Click on the word dagger in the column underneath the 6 there.
Okay, so click on the...
that's the one. So he turns it on you. Suddenly this guy reveals himself to be quite the close quarter combat expert, and whoosh, turns this dagger on you, and he sort of forces your hand into your own stomach, dealing 6 piercing damage to yourself. This guy turns from you and brings back up his club as you stand there with your own knife in your own belly. Reduce your HP by 6. That's probably pretty devastating, unfortunately. Double crits. So behind you guys, Damien and Kaval, you see, well, you probably hear a short cry out. And that brings us around to Yar and Kelly, who are going to fire their crossbows down the alleyway once again at one towards Damien and one towards Kaval. Kaval with the hit. So this is going to be...
18, not 17.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, I'm dumb. So yeah, this one does hit you, but it pings off of your armor there. You've got these huge... it's like, what do you have? Like chain shirts? So just bing! Yeah, you're just because you guys are moving down this alleyway throwing javelins, and you feel one of them chink off of one armor and clatter to the ground, bringing us to Damien. Your turn again.
So I'm running, and that arrow goes kind of flying by me, and I keep running that 30 feet. And at this point now, I can run 30 feet and be right in front of him.
You would literally be in front of him, yeah, right next to him.
Good. So as I'm running up, I don't even there's no stopping or anything. I'm running up, and I just have my great sword wrenched back, and as I'm coming up to him, I just swing it, and I try to swing it through him like a tree. Let's put it that way. If it hits,
it does hit. Yeah, just about.
Just about.
Yeah, just about. Roll me the damage.
I got so confused. I was like, wait.
This is gonna hurt. How do you want to kill him?
So I run up, and as I'm running up, the arrow flies by me, and I'm running up real fast, and I just kind of get all like, and I kind of come down real quick, and I don't go straight through the middle. I come down kind of like right where like the armpit starts, and I kind of come down to the hip. And when I'm coming down and it hits the ground, it kind of slides on the ground and kind of causes a couple sparks. And I look over at the other person, over at Kelly, right? I look over at Kelly, and I just kind of look at her for a minute. I'm just like, it'd be best if you just walk away with you and the rest of your friends. And then I just kind of like wrench back and pull my sword up like I'm 100% ready to swing at her.
So 2 parts of a halfling fall to the ground. He didn't even have a chance to sort of react. He fired off his crossbow, and then he was sliced in 2 by an enormous greatsword, this great big 7-foot dragonborn splitting this tiny little like 3-foot halfling in half. He's now really truly is a halfling.
Got him.
Kaval, it is your turn.
No, Jesus.
If you're still moving,
Right.
you can get up to Kelly, who's just fired a crossbow at you, hit you and missed, and then sort of now she's just kind of looking fearfully towards Damien.
Okay. I wanna also run up. If I run up, will I be right in front of Kelly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I wanna run up to her, and I wanna grab her by the throat with my gauntlets and sort of push her up against the wall.
All right, give me an
And her-
athletics check.
And where is that? Where is that one again?
Under skills, it's like the second one, I think. She does. She does try and wriggle out of the way. These huge, powerful hands with gauntleted hands just grab Kelly sort of by the throat and slam her up against the wall. There's a moment where you feel she's almost about to slip through them, so your other gauntleted hand comes up and just crush her against the wall. What do you want to do? You have her grappled.
Well, I want to look her in the eyes, and I think it would be best if you listen to my friend here. You can leave now. No one else needs to get hurt.
Give me an intimidation check.
Oh no, I'm really bad at these ones.
She it's impressive. Like even Damien feels like a small shiver in his tailbone there, and the woman kind of looks up at you at first when you first sort of crunch her small body against the wall with these huge gauntleted hands. She kind of looks up and snarls almost as you push her up and you say these things to her. You see the energy drain from her, and fear sort of takes over, and she's, whatever you say, sure. And she drops the crossbow. King lands on the ground next to her. That doesn't stop the people from above you, however, firing down their arrows. One fired at Damien, second fired at Damien, one fired at Kaval, second fired at Kaval. So all of these arrows just thump, 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 land in the ground around you guys, but they're at kind of awkward angles where they are up above you guys, and they all land in the ground around you. The people on the roofs kind of look a little confused and shocked at the moment. They're sort of exchanging certain glances between them because you've sort of killed one of the people that's hired them or they work for or something, and they're kind of watching you potentially about to kill another. I think it is now. It's the other guy, the one with the club, which brings it up, who's just stabbed into Wish, into Dorora, and he's going to try and hit you again with a club. So you have a knife in your belly, and he brings his club in to kind of try and get you again, and you stagger one way, and it kind of puts him off balance, and he just about misses. You have the opportunity to try and pull this blade out and stab him again if you want. Unless you want to do something else. Wish, it's your turn.
Well, I was going to maybe... Can we try to persuade him not to do it? Like...
This guy in front of you looks petrified out of his mind, like he's desperately trying to finish the job here because you've just burned somebody to death and his arm is on fire. So you can try and speak to him, but you'd probably have like disadvantage on this one because he just looks
He's really
wild.
pissed.
Yeah, he
All
looks wild. Kelly still looks like she's still in her right mind to a degree.
All right, I'm gonna like yank the dagger out of my stomach and like hold it like all bloody at him, like with this pissed off look in my own eye, and we're gonna try to go home again.
Go for it. Click on dagger again. That one is a hit, I think. Let me see. Yeah, that's a hit. Roll your damage. Nice. How do you want to kill him?
Oh, what up?
She's literally just gonna jab it back into his own stomach. Like as she shoves it in, she's gonna whisper, "You made a mistake," and then like let go of it and watch him fall to the ground as she stands over him, and then clutch her stomach like bent over.
Yeah, he sort of just coughs up some blood. It runs down his chin. All of the life falls from him, and he slumps to the ground as you remove the dagger from him. Turning round, you'll see that there are still people up on the roofs, kind of tentatively now firing arrows down. At one end of the alleyway, there is a halfling who's been just obliterated by a greatsword, and then one of the other people here held up against the wall by this enormous paladin woman. You can move if you still want to move and sort of start making your way down the alleyway. They're sort of about 70 feet away from you at this point.
Is there any way to get closer to them on the roof, or?
You can try and climb up the roof, but there's really nothing more than just like guttering to climb up, like drain pipes.
Okay. Yeah, she's gonna go ahead and start positioning herself. Can I? Yeah, she's gonna go ahead and start positioning herself, try to get up to the top so they stop firing down on Caval and Damien.
Well, you can see them all, so anything that you can do at long range, like firebolt, I think, or any of your things, you can throw things.
Then we'll just move closer. Yeah.
Then you can reach with that.
We'll stay on the ground.
All right. So, yeah, Kelly just kind of like wriggles a little bit in your arms, but doesn't seem to do anything. Then, Damien and Caval, what do you want to do at this point?
Well, I'm gonna look over to Damien. Damien, what do you think we should do with this one? She's not called them off. They're still firing on us.
I look at her after she says that, like super enraged still, and I just kind of I kind of clench my greatsword real strong, and I look up at and I look over. I'm like, "Are you going to call them off?" And I kind of clench it a little more. I wait for an answer for a second.
Let's see. Give me an intimidation or a persuasion check, whichever you feel is appropriate. She says, they don't follow me.
Okay.
Oh,
And I take off and I start running towards the wall, and I attempt to climb it and climb up the wall.
All right, give me an athletics check.
Really game?
You start climbing, but you climb
Really
very slowly. Yeah, you only make it a little ways up the wall before. Yeah, you're struggling. You're enormous, and it's just like watching like a huge great lizard monster climb up this tiny little spindly little drain pipe. It's slow going for poor little Damien. Caval, what are you doing? You letting her go?
No, I'm gonna look at dead in the eyes. I'm gonna ask you one more time, and I want to tighten my grip around her neck, just ever so slightly. Is that an intimidation again?
What are you asking her to do? Oh, call them off?
Yes.
Yeah, go on then, go for it. Give me an intimidation.
Come on, Caval.
She just shouts, "Right, stop it! Let him go!" And then the archers all just, you see them sort of like lower their bows and start to edge away from the edges of the roof, basically. All right, what do you guys want to do next? Since if they've generally stopped firing at you and stopped doing anything, do you kind of let them go?
Well, while I'm down there, I've still got her in my grasp. I'm gonna kick the crossbow. I guess it's at her feet. I'm gonna kick that down the alleyway, I assume towards Dorora, and I'm gonna drop her. I'm gonna drop the woman in hopes that she's not gonna scramble away
I mean, she sort of starts crawling backwards, but not in like a full speed scramble away. She's just kind of moving backwards, and she looks up and says, "So, evens, huh? Even Stevens?"
I walk right over to her and I pick her back up by her throat because I'm still enraged.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you do it.
I just pick her up by her throat.
She's
I just
not.
look at her.
She's not trying to do anything else. Aurora, what are you doing? You still just kind of at the back of the alleyway, or are you going to walk up?
Like, Aurora's gonna slowly walk up, and she's just gonna like try to put her hand on Damien's shoulder and be like, "Just let her go." Like, I mean, she one hand's on Aurora's belly, like holding her guts, and pretty much, and then the other hand's on Damien's shoulder, like, just let her go. Like, I just get.
No mind.
All right, what do you do?
I just look up at the lady and what tells me that you're not going to try to come after us again? And I squeeze a little bit tighter.
Give me an athletics check.
Swear to God. Swear to fucking God.
Yeah.
Ew.
I'm not gonna do it. I won't. I promise.
How do I know that?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Tell your archers to come down here then.
Looking up, the archers have all just vanished.
I look at her for a minute and I kind of let go and I go, I would suggest that you tell someone to fetch your archers.
They're not my archers. We just paid some commoners to sit on the roof and bit the alleyway there. They don't give a shite. They're not getting paid now. They won't listen to me.
Are you telling me the truth?
Give me an inside check. Yeah, she's pretty much telling the truth.
I look at her for a second and I look back over at Caval and I'm just like, I don't trust anyone here, let alone someone that's now tried to kill us twice. And I kind of squeeze a little harder again. I'm getting to the point where like she probably can barely breathe.
Right.
Straight.
Yeah, I mean she's just.
Well, at this point, I'm feeling pretty darn good. I didn't kill anyone. I might have caused a little bit of pain, but I didn't hurt anyone, so I'm gonna. Then why did you come back to find us? I want to intimidate her. I sort of tower, push my shoulders out, sort of stand on my tiptoes a little bit to look even taller.
I mean, yeah, she's pretty intimidated now. You each will successfully complete or win your intimidation rolls against her and stuff, and she, yeah, she sort of just like looks at you and says, "You killed the only man I loved," and she's still being sort of choked out.
I look at him. I kind of like look at her for a second, and I look back over at Caval, and well, there's good news. There's very good news. Would you like to know what that is? Look for a second.
What?
And I just snap her neck with my hand.
Give me an athletics check. Yeah.
You can be with him now. And I just let her go. I just drop her.
Yeah, one of her eyes rolls upwards into her head. The other one just kind of sharply moves one direction, and they kind of just, her head lolls back, and you just drop her into a slump on the ground. So at either end of the alleyway, there are a couple of dead bodies, and then all of the archers above you seem to have just run away as they were just sort of paid commoners just looking for a couple of gold. But yeah, you've sort of dealt with these guys.
Damien, what was that? Why did you kill her?
I'm so confused that every single time someone tries to kill us, and then we kill them, you question it.
You killed them. I have not killed a single person.
That's fine. You haven't killed anybody. It's off your conscience and on mine.
Aren't I glad I showed up at this time?
And you, who are you and what did you do with our friend?
I told you.
I kind of like get stern and look towards her.
And she like literally takes a few steps back from Damien, and she like leans against the wall, like still kind of obviously messed up. She's like, I already told you. It's the magic. It wasn't me. We're gonna find your friend.
Whose magic was it?
It's the wild magic.
Kind of look at her like, very concerned and befuddled, and I just speak up again. I'm just like, I look over at Cabal, I'm like, I don't believe anything that she's telling me right now, and I have no clue who she is. But I know one thing, and that's that she replaced someone that was important to us, apparently, and I'd still like to have some more answers.
Listen. I met a guy, his name is Tarius. He told me to come and find you guys. It was the only way I knew how to do it. I'm not that great at magic. I'm sorry, okay?
Tarius? Who is Tarius?
Well, he's this guy I met on the way. He's this guy I met on the way, and he actually says he has another job for you guys. And we're supposed to meet him soon, so...
Slowly coming down from the rage.
I wanna come in as well. I'm gonna get close to Damien, sort of inspecting this fell.
I kind of get a little closer, and as I get closer, I look over at Cabal, and I take like a real deep breath, and I kind of like center myself a little bit in the realization that like I don't have to kill anybody else or do anything like that. And I kind of calm down for a minute, and I look down at her, and I'm like, I'm sorry for being so aggressive, but you have to understand you've replaced someone that was with us on... We've already lost one, and we can't find, well, her. And then we lose another one, and you all of a sudden appear here?
Yeah, like I said, I'm sorry. It's the way things are. I'm here. You got me now. Hey, I think I've proved myself a little bit.
Your gut wound doesn't say much.
I want to put my hand on Damien's shoulder, sort of nudge him, like, sort of look him in the eyes, like, almost follow my lead and sort of make myself look really big, sort of towering over her. Look down, like, how did you know you were looking for us? So I'm towering over this tiny woman.
Kiwo and Tiger, give me intelligence checks.
Oh.
You motherfucker.
Oh.
Pow pow. Caval doesn't remember much of what happened recently, but Damien remembers that the little gnomish wizard dude that gave you that box previously mentioned that he was working for Tarius, who is also the dude that you met. Do you remember when you went down the alleyway to meet Peanut and he said that he wasn't there, but he'll be there tomorrow? That was him.
I mean, what?
But you don't remember Caval. You're just too caught up in the moment. Damien, you maybe have a little recollection there.
I have a recollection. I look at her for a second and I look at her, Caval, I'm like, I think that if I'm correct, Tarius was the one that sent us to meet that small gnome with the absolutely insane, whatever you would call that monster that he created. Remember?
So remind me of that monstrosity. He almost tore Leo's head off.
Yes, but do you remember the gentleman that gave us the information to find the gnome?
Oh, yeah, the information that was completely wrong. He told us to go and find a Goliath in a big... Ouch.
Yeah, and I look over, I look down. What did he tell you to find? And exactly when was what happened right before you got here?
Well, he told me to come and find you guys, and we're supposed to meet Peanut in an alley, and I hope to God that it's this alley.
Where were you before that, though? How did you get here? I mean, were you in front of him? What was happening before you poofed, apparently, in front of us, and, well...
Well, I was actually on the coast. I made my way inward. I don't know what it is. Something just drew me here.
Kind of look over at Caval for a second. Kind of like put my hands up and kind of cross my arms. And I look down for a second and I just kind of shake my head. I'm a very understanding person and I'm a lot more calm than I was, but at this point in time I kind of start turning around a little bit. I'm like, we only have one thing to do, and that is to find Peanut. And if you feel that you need to join us, then so be it, I suppose. But I'm more concerned about our friend Leo, and on top of that, I look over at Caval again. I still don't like this.
No, not one bit, but I guess it is what it is. Do you know where Peanut is?
Oh, do I know? I was supposed to find you guys. You guys are supposed to know. Listen,
I think we should head to the alley.
Yeah, all I know is it's an alleyway at 12 p.m. What time is it?
It's dusk.
I look up, and I kind of look around. Okay, I can hear that bell going off, and I look over at both of them. I go, the only thing that we're going to get accomplished tonight is a whole lot of nothing. It's getting late, and I'm going to be honest. And I look over at the dead bodies and the half-cut body laying in the alleyway next to us. I only assume this caused a lot of commotion. I would assume that we get out of here. And also you, and I look down again at our new-founded friend. Just be careful where you walk. And I just turn around and I start walking away down the alleyway.
Oh, I'm gonna lean down to her. He does that sometimes. He'll often leave with like a one-liner and then just take off. Look, well, Tom knows where he's going, but I take off after Damien.
Jesus Christ, what is wrong with these people? And Doria like literally pushes herself off the wall and like slowly stumbles behind them, stepping over the half of the halfling and just eyeballing everybody that they massacred in this alleyway.
I look back as she's standing up, and I look at her. She's kind of looking down at all the bodies, and I look back up at Cabal. And I go, "Did you by chance grab anything off of any of those bodies?"
No. Why?
And I start walking back. I start walking back, and I'm just like, "What do you mean, why?" And I look down at the one that was cut in half, and I just start looking, and I literally pick up the half that is the legs, and I start shaking it.
Yeah, the leg half. 2 pouches fall off of him. One contains 10 gold pieces, and one contains 100 gold pieces. And
I instantly pick them up and throw them right in my pocket. No questions asked.
Okay.
Do I notice this by any chance?
If you're trying to hide it, Tiger, give me a sleight of hand.
I'm not trying to hide it at all.
Then yeah, you see him pocket two pouches. One looks like big and filled. But that's pretty much all he has on him. He does have the light crossbow, which you can take if you want to take a light crossbow, and he has a set of bolts.
Before I grab it, I walk over to the next snap, Kelly, and I pretty much do the exact same thing, but I realize she's not in half, so I just kind of start rummaging through pockets to see if there's anything.
Yeah.
See if there's anything else that she has.
She has her own pouch, which has 50 silver. Do you want me to write this down so you guys can remember? 100 gold and 10 gold, and then 50 silver pieces. There is also 2 bottles on her. One is a bottle full of red liquid, and one is a bottle full of red liquid. 2 bottles of red liquid.
I take every single thing.
Okay. Give me just a flat investigation check as you pick them up to see if you recognize. Give me 2. All right, so the first one you recognize as being a potion of either enlarge or reduce. It's either going to make you go big or make you go small. You just can't work it out. It is something that you've read about and understand, and it will do one of those things. If you're made big, then you go from sort of being a medium dragonborn to a large dragonborn, and you get extra strength check advantages, as well as a little bit more damage and things like that. If it's small, kind of does the obvious. You'll become tiny and you'll be a lot weaker. But you can't quite remember or work out which one it is, so it's one of those 2 things. The second one is a potion of healing. So I'll write those
by the way,
things.
real quick, just real quick knowledge for myself. Is there a way to add these into my items and give them a description?
Not really. What you can do is just write them in. They I don't know if they have potions in this thing. Let's have a look. Oh, they do. They do have some potions. So you can add a potion of healing from so you open a slot on your inventory, on your equipment, and you can drag potion of healing, like we've been doing forever with these new sheets. The other one, potion of enlarge reduce, isn't there. So just write potion of enlarge reduce, and if it happens, then you can do it. You can look up the enlarge reduce spell though, and it's the same thing. It just does that in potion form. But it will do one or the other. It won't do what the spell does, which is let you pick.
And then in total, that was how much gold and silver and everything?
Written in the chat there, 100 gold, 110 gold, 50 silver in total. He's looking over all these things. How do you want me to say your name? Dororia or Doria? Dorora.
Dorora.
Dorora is bleeding quite profusely from a hole in her stomach, and Kaval is probably just tapping her foot, looking resting bitch face.
Twiddling my thumbs. Resting bitch face.
Resting bitch face, let's be honest. And then you guys head out. Where are you guys going? Are you heading back towards the... you do have a room at the moment at the Seven Sails Inn, because you purchased it like during the day, so you have it for the whole evening.
That's where I was walking to, actually. You read my mind.
Yeah, I figured. So he picks up all these things in case you guys... Do you guys do anything about it? You just let him take it all and head out the alleyway?
Yeah, I'm not gonna. She's new. She's not gonna say shit like to him about it. In fact, I mean, if she wished she was a little bit smarter and picking up things, but she's kind of bleeding at the moment. She doesn't really care about anything.
Yeah, you just got a hole in your stomach, and that's probably a thing that needs to be dealt with first. All right, so Kiwo, anything that Kaval does?
Damien, where are we going?
Well, and as she says that, I look back down again. Wait, can you say your name one more time so I have it stuck in my head?
Dorora?
Dorora.
We've even introduced ourselves to her yet.
Dorora. I'm just trying to get it stuck in my head. I look down at Dorora, and I kind of look down at her for a second, and she's like kind of walking, holding her gut, and I kind of look over at Kaval real quick, and I'm like, well. Firstly, and as I'm asking her this, I'm pulling out a mess kit. And I'm like, Kuvara, I'm confused. Aren't you a follower of Torn?
No.
Yeah. Are you just going to sit here and let this woman suffer as she walks back with us? And I start taking out the mess kit, and I don't even ask questions. I just like bend down and kind of like start acting like I know what I'm doing, trying to help.
Ooh. Did we rest, by the way, at the end of last episode? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do have my lay on hands. All right.
Actually, I don't know if you did. You didn't sleep. No, everyone rested. Actually, no. You don't need sleep. I'm being dumb. Do you get your thing on a short rest or a long rest? Does it say? Did I write it wrong?
No, I don't think so.
It'll
Wait, it's in spells.
I think it'd be under bio. Long rest. So yeah, you don't have any left.
Oh, bugger.
As I'm trying to patch her up, I literally see where the hole's at in her stomach, and sadly, for some reason, I think the right idea is to take some of the gauze and I put it on the end of my finger, and I just stick my finger in the hole with the gauze. Sorry, I rolled an 8 on medicine. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
I mean, also you don't have a gauze because a mess kit is a thing that you eat from.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You're thinking of like a medicine kit or a healer's kit or something like that. You just got like a little tin with some like little cups and knives and forks in it and stuff. Just pulled it out.
I pull out a fork and I just start taking it and I just like start pushing like my finger in this fork in the hole, and I'm just like, here, push this aside a little bit. This will help. Don't worry.
Oh no!
All right, roll me a D4, Damien.
He's gonna kill me. Yeah. He's gonna kill me.
Oh, he does 3. Like he just jams a fork into the hole, and it is horrific. 3 more HP done. Is that are you still on?
I'm down. I'm down.
I look at her, and so I'm kind of like poking. I look up at her. She kind of looks like she's kind of getting pale, and I'm like, oh no, that's not good.
She gets more than pale. Her eyes roll up, and she just falls over flat down. She's KO. She's on death saving throws right now.
What have you?
Onto my shoulder.
Okay. So you pick her up.
And she falls over, and I pull the fork out, and I'm like, well, this isn't a gauze. I throw the fork to the side, and I'm like, I look up a corner, I'm like, how come you didn't tell me I was wielding a fork instead of a gauze?
I thought you knew what you were doing.
And I like kind of halfly like kind of huffed her up over my shoulder.
Or you try. You pick her up, and then you drop her. Give me Give me a death saving throw, please, Wish. So you can just click on death save. It's like on the middle of the sheet.
I see, yeah.
1, and now give me another one. Cool. Okay, so you have 1 because you had disadvantage on that death save because he picked you up and then kind of dropped you. She hits the ground and just like a ton of blood just forces its way out of this wound, and she's just starting to bleed quite heavily on the ground there now, passed out.
I look at her. I look down at the body and I go, oops. And I look back up at Caval and I go, well, this just escalated, I guess. And I bend back over and I try to gently pick her back up.
Yeah, you can pick her up on a 9, but it's not gently. You sort of throw her over her shoulder. Give me another death save, please, Wish. That's a fail. 1 make, 1 fail so far.
I get her up my shoulder. I look at Caval and I go, whoa. And I kind of notice blood kind of trickling down my, down my chest.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And I kind of I take...
She's gut shot right now.
I literally take where her gut's at and I put her gut on my shoulder. So hopefully my shoulder's obviously kind of trying to plug it up a little bit. And I go, well, I may not know this woman very well, but I'm not going to just let her die, I guess, because she did help us. And I kind of look around for a minute. I look at where we're at and I realize it's dusk and I go, well, not going to be any doctors around right now unless we can find one at the inn we're staying at. And I just start walking towards the inn that we're staying at, knowing that that's the only place that we might find someone that might be able to patch her up before we go to sleep.
All right. Kiwo, doing anything?
I'm in shock. I'm just nagging in Damien's ear. I thought you knew what you were doing.
Oh, wait! I do know what I'm doing. And I stop for a second as I kind of realize and see the blood trickling down. And I reach back down and I go, look, and I grab from my pocket and I throw it in the air and I catch it. And it's the little healing.
Sleight of hand, please. Yep.
Oh.
And I catch it and I kind of look at it for a second and I go, I hand to go, I go, yeah, force this down her throat real quick, would you? And I kind of I turn my back towards where her face is at.
Okay,
give her some of that. But not all of it, like half of it.
Oh, okay, just give me some space. So I'm gonna...
Space?
Just give me some space. I'm gonna lay her down on her back so her head's sort of slightly rested up against my knee.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of pour half this potion down her throat, keeping her head up, making sure she swallows it.
Yep. Only half of it?
Only half.
All right.
I sit there for a second, I go, does that look like it was enough?
Give me a death saving throw, please, Wish.
Oh my god.
You roll a 1, you're dead. One more make, but yeah, it doesn't look like it's doing a lot. The wound continues to pulse and bleed.
Give her the rest real quick.
Happening.
Give her the rest. Calm down.
I can't calm down, okay?
Well, she dies. She dies.
Damien, please.
Calm
Pour
down.
the rest into her. This woman dying.
I walk
I'm
over and I
up.
grab the healing thing out of her hand and I just open up her throat and I'm just like.
All right, Wish, roll me 2d4 plus 2. You might need to open the dice roller, or you can write /r space 2d4 plus 2. Choking, you sort of regain consciousness, and as you look down, the wound, which was previously a devastating hole, sort of begins to close. It's not as effective as a magical heal, but it does sort of begin to just heal rapidly, very quickly. The blood stops sort of trickling out as it starts to close over quite quickly. It's going to be sore for quite a while, but you are, I think, back to full health.
Bless you. Oh God, what happened? What?
You took a tumble, hit your head, and I look over at Damien like...
I mean,
So
there's a
just-
bloodied fork about 2 feet away.
Did you fork me?
I look over, I look down at her real quick and I go, yeah, I accidentally did, yes, why?
Why?
I look over a second and she says, why? And I look around for a minute. I kind of look up at the sky and I go, can you walk? And I look
feel
down and realize she's kind of like mumbling and about to, and I reach down like I'm gonna take her hand, and I don't. I just grab her and try to throw her over my shoulder.
easy.
Just crushes you again. It's just a boom. You just kind of hit the hard dragonborn scales.
And I just start walking towards the inn. I don't say anything, even if she's talking. I just keep walking towards the inn.
She's just mumbling the whole time, like.
Yeah, unfortunately, he is way stronger than you. Though you're better at everything else, you're not better at strength. Kiwo, what are you doing? As he sort of, I mean, it wasn't an effective grab. He just kind of bear hugged you up onto a shoulder and just starts walking out into the street.
Wait, am I on his shoulder?
No, Wish. What are you doing?
Wish. I thought you were talking to me. So I'm gonna follow after them. Like, hey, Damien, please be careful. You can't go through this again.
And yeah, you basically are dragged by them, Dorora, to the Seven Sails Inn, which is a very sort of quite high-end inn. I don't know where you normally stay, but you've probably stayed in some high-end places before. It's like a very large wooden crested building with all sorts of different shaped windows with a plant box with flowers underneath it all around. And yeah, you guys arrive at the Seven Sails Inn after a few minutes, and then that is where we'll take our first break, as presumably you guys head upstairs and take a decent rest. It is sort of night time, so presumably you're all going to go and just get straight into that room and stay in the same room again. Not that realistically Dorora has any option, as she's just grappled and dragged into a room in an inn by an enormous dragonborn. We'll go to a break, and when we come back, we'll see what these guys want to do next on the Walls of War. Thanks for watching, people. Well done, Wish. I'm sorry for throwing you straight under the bus, but again, you'll have to blame this lot.
This lot.
For walking straight into that there trap. We'll see you in a couple of minutes, people. Bye, bye. Okay, bye.
Don't forget
Okay,
your
bye.
drugs.
Oh yeah, go and get yourself some nice Class A drugs, so that you can really truly, immerse yourself. If you get some like nice narcotics, some like hallucinogenics, you'll really fucking enjoy this. All right, we'll see you in a couple of minutes. Bye. You don't have to do that, by the way. You just can. I'm not going to judge you. All right, bye, bye. Welcome back. What is this? What is this? Why has this done this? Hold on, let me just... Oh my good God. Hold on. What is this? What is happening? Have we lost someone? Why am I not in this? Hello?
Brad.
Hello.
He's-
I left the thing for some reason. I don't know how I did it. Because I clicked out. So, welcome back to the game. We were just discussing the characters' alignments, and I was saying that I don't play very heavy alignment games, so I don't... Essentially, Kiwo was saying that she's lawful good, and she's worried about the fact that every now and then she tells a little porky pie a little lie, and I won't... So basically, I won't strictly hold you guys to your alignments. A lot of DMs and a lot of ways of play are like, if you do something that goes against your alignment, either your alignment will change, or you can be punished for it in some way, especially if you're a paladin or something like that. As a paladin, Kiwo, I will hold you to your tenets, but you haven't taken them yet. I don't think you take them until level 3. So at the moment, you've got 3 levels to sort of... This is gonna sound weird.
So I'm not a
feel the
real
character
paladin.
out. Kind
Is
of,
that right?
yeah.
Oh.
You're not like, you are a paladin of Torm, but you haven't taken like your oath truly yet. So I'll hold you to your tenets when they come, but at the moment you're kind of just, you're more like a cleric or an acolyte at this point. And your alignments, I don't even know if you have one yet. Wish, do you? Did you pick an alignment?
I did not pick an alignment.
That's cool.
Doesn't that come with the backgrounds, though?
No.
Right? I thought, like, my ideals, like, my one...
Mine's
yeah,
good,
that's
yeah.
that's your like suggested, yeah. That's
Oh, okay.
It's like to give you an idea of thingy when you pick it and things like that. But again, so this is the thing is just to give you guys an idea. So alignments, I want you to have alignments in case you need them. Sometimes there are creatures which affect different alignments in different ways. So in case you encounter one of these weird creatures that will affect, you know, an evil character or a neutral character more so than like a good character or something like that, then it's nice to have an alignment from a mechanical perspective. But mostly I just use alignments in the same way that I use those like characteristic traits or whatever they're called, personality traits. So essentially people listening or whatever, they have personality traits which are like ideas of how your character works. And I don't hold you strictly to that, basically. You have them as an idea. It's just to give you a kind of basic shape to your character earlier on, and if you completely deviate from them, I don't care. I'm not going to hold you to it. Same goes for your alignment. I'm not going to be like, well, you're lawful good, blah blah blah. But they like, you need one mechanically, and also it's just good to help you structure your character, I think, you know.
Yeah,
And that's what I
sense.
use it more so for than like, you are this, you wouldn't do that, you know. I'm not gonna, basically I won't punish you for it, but I think try and play to it, you know, from an RP perspective. So that's how I do alignments. It's how I do alignments on everything as well, Tiger. So that applies to Fractured Worlds for the record. Although you play 2 chaotic characters, so you might as well just accept that you are a chaotic person as a human being.
I have to be a bad person, and I will be right back.
You're
'cause I
right.
didn't go pee.
Well,
I look over my shoulder at the bleeding body as I get back up to the bedroom real quick, and I look over at Caval, and I'm like, "Where the hell?"
she dashes into the the little toilet. You had that little chamber pot room. So Caval just dives into that. And I guess where do you put? So this room, for the record, Wish, is the room that they rented last week, or it was like earlier on this day.
Right.
And it's a fairly nice, fairly large, luxurious room. It's got a large bed, like a 4-poster bed, and there's also like a few divans, like futons that you can lay on or sit on, with a table by one of the windows with some chairs. There's like a chamber pot room, which is like a private ensuite toilet. So yeah, it's a fairly luxurious room with some paintings on the walls. Fairly private towards the back of the inn.
Hello.
Where do you hello? Where do you place Dorora?
I walk in, and as I see Caval kind of coming out of a little his spot area, I look over. I'm like, "Are you okay?"
I'm fine.
And I kind of look back at our new friend. I'm like, "You're awake, aren't you?"
Yeah, barely. I'm just gonna make my way over here, and she like immediately goes for the bed. She doesn't even look around.
As she's kind of doing that, kind of like let her. She kind of scuffles down my body. And I'm like, "Here, hold on," and I let her down.
Yeah, I'm just gonna lay down here right here. Yeah.
And as I look at her, I go, "She's got the right idea," and I start stripping down, and I get butt naked again, and I fucking go over, and I just jump right into bed like it's nothing, and I turn my head onto a pillow, and I close my eyes, and I might be sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, you can go to sleep. Do you go to sleep as well, Dora?
Yeah, she's gonna just kind of like look at Caval and just be like, is he always this strange?
Oh,
like,
yeah, you get used to it.
Look, I don't look up or anything like that. I'm just like laying there still where I'm at, haven't moved. I just go, "You realize that I'm still very awake."
no, you're asleep right now. You can't hear me. And she's just like, she just like kind of lays back on the bed, fully clothed. She does not intend to get any sort of naked with this big naked guy beside her. And she just like crosses her arms over her stomach because it's still sore, and to protect him in case he like sprawls out or something, and literally just like closes her eyes. But she's still sort of kind of awake, but she's gonna slowly fade into sleep. Yeah.
Is there any more room on the bed? Is there only one bed?
There's one
on.
large bed. You might be able to squeeze on. It's a pretty big bed. It's like a queen size
All
bed.
right. Well, I'm gonna take my armor off. I've still got clothing underneath it. It might smell a little funny because I don't think I got a proper wash. Oh no, I washed it in the seawater, didn't I?
Nasty.
Well, it was either that or sewage.
I think you cleaned it fairly well. I can't remember how. I don't think it was perfect.
Oh.
But
It was Damien that washed it.
I mean, this
Yeah.
inn does offer a cleaning service, as you know.
Yeah, but I'm tired.
Okay.
Alright.
All right.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
I'm gonna.
Aurora's still covered in blood, and she's like, just she doesn't give a.
I'm gonna sort of move close to Dorora. I go on, scoot up, and I sort of knock her with my hip. Sort of scoot her a little closer to Damien, sort of slowly, like precariously on the edge of the bed, like slowly turn on my side with my huge legs sort of, bent slightly, my knees poking off. I just completely black out. I pass out completely.
All right. Everyone going to sleep?
Oh yeah.
Damien, you going to sleep as well?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, then each of you falls asleep, and again, you find that you all have this same strange dream. Find yourself in a dark, snow-covered forest under a full moon. No wind, no rain, no falling snow. It is clear. It is silent, other than the sound of the slowly approaching giant white wolf. It's at least 20 foot high, maybe even higher than that, and it approaches you, and you feel very calm near it, looking up into its sort of giant great face. Above its muzzle, on its sort of forehead area, there is this strange blue symbol which sort of glows ever so slightly. It's an odd kind of triangular shape with some lines coming off of it, a couple of dots. It looks very alien in terms of language, and it's not something that any of you recognize or are able to read or anything like that. The wolf opens its jaws, and for the first time for Caval and the first time for Dorora, the wolf actually speaks. It opens its mouth very close to where you are. This sort of hot breath pouring from its mouth. You see in the cold night air that kind of mist from the cold, and it says, "You must find me." And then you are drawn from your sleep and you wake up. There is the sounds of the city and the tavern downstairs. It appears to be daytime. You have slept throughout the entire night, and again you've all had this same dream, though this
Are we
time very
woken up from
differently.
it abruptly?
You all find that you wake up at the same time, but it's not necessarily an abrupt wake. The dream fades very quickly, and then you wake up, and it seems to be that you wake up from this dream every time. It is like this is the dream that wakes you up. At this point, all of you find that this dream wakes you up basically. Every time you go to sleep, you have the dream, and also it wakes you up. The breath's sort of taken from your lungs, but not necessarily like you sitting up in bed. You're just kind of whoa, I'm awake now.
Oh. Okay, good. Because I think I'm still perched on the edge of the bed.
I just kind of, I realize that I don't know if they're awake. I just get up and start throwing clothes on.
Dorora hasn't told them that she's barely said a couple words to them, and she felt Damien get up, but she didn't know that they got up because of the dream, right? So she just like quietly lays there. She was like the middle spoon, I guess. So she is still curled up. She managed to curl up with Cheval in the middle of the night, and had curled up with Damien at some point as well. But she's still curled up with Cheval, and like she tries to keep her eyes closed to like let them know that she's not awake, but she's definitely awake and can hear Damien at least get up.
I don't like mornings. And slowly drag myself out of bed. Start the
I hear
long
her mumble that.
process.
And as I'm like kind of buttoning up some button somewhere on my clothes, I look over and I'm like, we discussed this just yesterday. You're a follower of Torn.
Yes.
And I just kind of shake my head and I'm like, a morning person. And I mumble that to myself. I don't understand how a follower of Torn is not a morning person. And I just start I continue to keep buttoning and doing and putting clothes on. And I look over, I go, the other one awake?
I'm awake, and Dora finally answers to it, and she slowly gets up out of bed, looks down at her bloody clothes, and tries to fashion her massive amounts of crazy colored scarves around her to cover up the holes in the blood and stuff. But
I kind of sit there for a second. I kind of just standing there, not really doing anything, kind of looking at the wall. And all of a sudden, I'm just like, what time is it? What time of the day is it? And then I kind of look towards the window.
Give me a survival check.
Go ahead, Brad. Give it.
It is probably...
Tell me whatever time you want me to believe
it is 3 p.m.
Oh, this is not good. And I start kind of scurrying a little faster, and I grab my fucking great sword, and I grab everything, just to let it be known, Brad. I grab everything that is mine, including my money and all of my things. And I'm like, yo, we have to go. We're going to miss it again. And I literally open the door and I slam it shut behind me instead of leaving it open for some reason. And I just fucking take off.
Dora climbs out of the bed, and she's like, let's go. And she manages to she's has a little bit more pep in her step today. Obviously, she's got some life back in her after that sleep, but she's still a little bit more slow than she'd usually be.
I'm still hopping around trying to get my last boot on.
Give me survival checks, both of you.
Okay.
Oh.
Kaval, you're pretty sure it's not 3 p.m. because that's insane. It doesn't look or feel like it would be 3 p.m. outside, but you don't really work it out. You don't look outside. Dorora, you kind of take a glance out of the window, and you see that it's probably more like 10, 11 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah. Where did Damien go? I don't think he
ran out, I think.
Cabal, you realize that he's He's running for nothing. I don't think it's 3 o'clock at all. In fact, it's like 10:30.
Well, we know where to find him. Do you know your way to Rat Alley?
No, I'll actually follow you there. Lead the way.
I've only gotten
Over
as
here.
far as the like bar type area. Stop there.
Okay, yeah. There's a barman there who, or like a staff member who just says, "How was your sleep there, sir?"
Good. Can you tell me what time it is?
Certainly. And then the person at the front desk heads over and says, "We have a wonderful little clock here made by a gnome in town. He's a very clever person when it comes to little trinkets like that. I don't know if you've ever seen a clock before, but it's...
Yes, and what time was it, though?
Let me find out. I'll have to go and find out on this here clock. It's very exciting, isn't it? I've never seen anything like it myself, but apparently it tells the time.
Cross my arms.
Using cogs and things. Now, if this
Tap my foot a
arm,
couple times.
this arm is over here, I think that means, well, I'd say it's about 11 minutes past 11.
I huff. Like I get like a really big huff and sigh out, and I'm like, and I literally just like get so frustrated because I really want to know what time it is, and I just fucking jet out the door and I head straight for, well, you know, the alley.
All right, so you guys heading down the stairs just see the Dragonborn, just as the edge of his greatsword just glance around the corner and start moving fairly swiftly towards the south end of town. I'll give the people on the stream here the little map of Luskan here, just so they kind of have some slight idea of how it looks. What do you guys want to do? He's still kind of motoring out.
I literally have seen more of that man's backside than I care to, Kaval. Let's go.
No, follow me. I'll take you to Rat Alley.
So following in, give me a, let's see, dex check. Just click on dexterity. We'll see who gets to Rat Alley quickest between Damien and
Oh.
Oh,
all right.
wait. Oh, that was the wrong one, right?
Doesn't matter. That's good enough for me
Oh.
because it's still a 0. Damien gets there like way before you guys because Kaval's kind of having to bustle Dorora through the alleyways and say, "No, it's this way. It's this way. I think it's this way, mate. Yeah, it was down this way. Hang on."
Are you sure?
It's that way.
Because it looks like it's that way.
Yeah, and you kind of just moving through the alleyways, and as you move your way south towards the bottom end of town, where this kind of dark, strange, long alleyway is, Damien, you get there first. What do you want to do? It is probably about 11:30 in the morning.
Am I sure that it's at past 11? Or am I convinced it's still 3?
Oh no, you've been told that it was 11 minutes past 11 when you left, and you moved fairly quickly, so it's probably only about half
Oh, he
past.
told me? I thought he was still tinkering with the clock, and you were just messing with me, getting me to run out because I was gone.
Oh no, he told you it was 11 past 11, and you still ran. I just thought that you just wanted to run
Alright.
there by yourself because you're weird and chaotic neutral.
I get there, and the first thing I do is I look around. I just look around for Peanut, and on top of looking around for him, I also hear my stomach start to gargle a little bit and like kind of jar all around.
All right, give me a perception check as you start heading into the alleyway. Yeah, you move down the alleyway and you're looking around. You especially check the area where he normally can be found, and you move from one end of the alleyway to the other, looking around and checking the point where he's sat. He's not there yet. There doesn't appear to be anyone in the alleyway apart from yourself. By the time you get to the far end of the alleyway and you kind of find yourself next to that stall where the woman selling all of the little dolls is kind of stood, the other two, you arrive at the far end of the alleyway. The other two being
on.
Wish and Kiwo.
It's down here. Can I?
I'm sorry.
Over here! And I kind of wave, yell, scream. Hey!
It's over there. I found it.
Oh!
No, we can hear. Damien, we can hear you.
What? Turn
We
my
can
back.
hear you, Damien.
What?
I said we can hear you.
Why don't
Sure.
you just come over here?
Dora just walks between the two and just walks straight to Damien.
Is he there?
I look at her. I'm like, why is she still trying to talk to me from way back there?
Are you trying to yell at her? We could see you.
But you guys were coming to me.
Listen, it's early. I can't even deal with you right now.
What? Deal with me? What do you mean? As I take out a ration, start eating it.
Okay, mark off a ration.
Mm-hmm.
No.
No answer?
Come on, Caval.
I'm
just going to be good. I eat a piece of my ration.
Slowly walk
It's
down
rude to
the
talk with your
alleyway.
mouth full.
Mouthful. What are you talking about?
Give me perception checks, everyone, at this point, while you're kind of all moving into this alleyway and discussing things. Damien? Oh wait, you did it. 19. Yeah, so these guys are kind of heading down the alleyway towards you, and you're just eating your ration when suddenly part of the alleyway just gives way. You see a kind of strange door open up on the area where Peanut usually sits, or you found him before. You see the wall give way, ding, and then a gentleman steps out from a sort of maybe like a 2-foot hole that has appeared in the wall, and then you see him turn around and hit one of the bricks there. Give me a perception check again.
All of us?
No, just Damien, because you don't see this happening. Yeah, you see exactly which brick he presses, and then the wall closes behind him, and he turns around and jumps a little bit. Oh, and it is Peanut sat there in front of you, the same gentleman. Dorora, you won't have met him, but it is the person who's on the quest notice that you would have received on your ship or whatever it is that you sailed in on. Somebody would have given you a dove flew in with a strange kind of note that said, hey, we're going to give you some money for a quest, and you were like, hell yeah, as soon as I land at Luskan, I'm going there to get that, cash in on that. So Peanut is kind of, he's like so we discussed that he looks kind of like Pony, right? In real life, like not Leo, but actual Pony Punch, the Swedish pop star that we all know and love, and will be back next week. So in general, he looks like a classic Swedish person. However, most of his head is kind of shaven. He has some strange tattoos over him, a sort of a vertical strip of hair on the top of his head, and then he's got these tattoos, one of which is a very clear crow, which is holding a peanut in its beak. The rest of him, he's fairly small, fairly thin looking, with some gold teeth, I think he had. And yeah, he sort of turns to Damien and jumps as he sees you just there. Well. Early bird catches the worm, eh?
I look over at him, and before he can even speak, basically, I throw him 40 gold.
Let's see. Hang on. He sort of fumbles it. Manages to kind of grab it before it hits the ground. Right, for the armor, of course.
Right.
And then yeah, he kind of looks you up and down for a moment, and then looks down towards the other end of the alleyway. And you two, Dorora and Caval, will walk up, and you three can essentially surround him. Dorora, again, you haven't met this person, but it is the person that Tarius told you to meet with in order to sort of join this little gang of people and sort of quest with them to earn the money. And as you all approach, he kind of looks back once again to Damien and says, well now, seems like you lot had quite the wild adventure looking into our little business deal. Sliced up a half-orc, a lovely treat, didn't you?
Correct, yes.
They say he looked like a split orange by the end. Cut into 8 even pieces, is that right?
Wait, what?
That's what they told me.
No, say it again. What did you say?
You cut him up into like 8 perfectly even pieces with that there great sword.
Well,
I just
I'd like...
roll my eyes.
I look over her, she rolls her eyes and kind of look back at him and kind of think for a minute. I'm like, well, honestly, no. I I slayed him, and that's really all there is to it. You can believe what you want to believe, but I know that you obviously aren't that upset about it, it seems.
Well, it don't bother me much. That is, unless you're looking at me like I'm an orange and you're about to slice me up a treat. But
I do love oranges, but no.
Well, I got my boys up there, just in case you try any wild ideas. Anyway, down to business. Let's see what you found out.
I look over at Damien, sort of with a confused look on my face, because we didn't learn anything, did we?
No.
We didn't learn anything.
I look over her, stand out, I just look back at Peter. I'm like, yeah, no, I killed him. We took care of it for him.
Right. So, it was definitely Olag who was gonna take out Captain Rethner, was it?
I don't have an answer for you on that. I've killed what I'm assuming you wanted me to do.
Well, if it was Olag, then I suppose that means I can look into it a little bit. You know, if it's the Willy boys that did it, then there's no fear from me asking around, as long as
The
it
Willy
wasn't.
boys are no more.
You killed them all now, did you? You hunted them down.
How many are there?
3, I think.
I kind of look over at Cabal and look back over at him real quick, and I just kind of nod.
Well, I'll look into it a little bit, but I suppose mission accomplished?
If you think that's okay, and I look over at Cabal again, and I go, I'll agree with it, and I go, I'll also drink to that. Like a barbarian, like, voice-ish comes out of my mouth, and I'm just like, now should we drink? Like, look around at everybody real quick.
Peanut
Yeah,
just kind of cocks his head to one side a little bit, looking strangely at the Dragonborn.
We're not in a tavern, Damien. This isn't exactly the place to drink and celebrate.
Look over at Pete, I'm just like, well, I guess you could pay us, and then I guess we can go somewhere and celebrate. You should come
Yes!
with.
Yeah, you could totally pay us. Dora just says, like, out of nowhere, because she hasn't even said anything to Peanut or ever met him. And she's just like, yeah, go ahead and give us money.
Doror, is it? I think Tarius told me that you were going to join these and look into it, but I suppose you've not really done much so far.
Can I scuttle over to Damien at this point and lean over and whisper, I can't help but feel like we should really start asking people their names when we meet them.
Yeah, it's Dororia. It's Dororia. And she announces to both of them, like...
Right. Didn't you have a bard and a little tiny halfling with you? What happened there? Olag got him, did he? Bastard. Big, strong bastard he was.
I don't think he got anybody.
Not
We
quite.
Frank, we don't know.
I technically got Leo, but he'll be back. Oh, don't worry.
On a ship, is he, out there? Floating around, waiting to show up?
You can say that.
Alright. Well, so, I'll tell my captain, Rethnor, of your somewhat successful mission, and then I'll meet you back here tonight at midnight with your rewards. I don't...
Wait. We have to wait until midnight.
Well, I
I've
had
been
to...
waiting days for you.
Perhaps, but the thing is, I mean, I don't know exactly what you found out, because the thing is, if I go back and see Captain Rethnor and he's got a crossbow bolt through the eye, then you've failed your mission, haven't you? So I'll go and tell him that you've killed Olag, who we know was perhaps the one who was going to possibly kill him, and then I'll take the gold, bring that back to you, and we'll see where we land, since you've kind of done half a job. I mean, did you really find out nothing? What about the guy in the red robes? Who was that? Did you find out?
Dorora just looks at the two like, please come up with a good answer right now.
Can I do like a is it intelligence or history? Anything to sort of see if I remember seeing anyone in a red robe?
No, because you don't. There is absolutely nothing that you can roll. You can lie to him and roll a deception on your lie.
I look over at her, and I look back at him. What red-robed man?
Wait, I told you. So, Olag, if it was Olag, was meeting with someone with red robes. That's what I saw when I was in the Cutlass. And then I employed you to go and find out who the half-orc was, and maybe even look into what was happening. It seems you've not really done much other than showed up and murdered a half-orc.
I just nod.
Can I just say, like, out of character right now, like, what the fuck is wrong with us?
And that's literally how I feel like Dorora feels about this whole thing. She's just like, what have I gotten myself into?
So Peanut kind of looks over each of you. He sees that Dorora looks a little confused, and he says, "Listen, Dorora, I know that you showed up a little late here to this summons, but I found our little half-orc in the Cutlass, and I overheard him accept some money to sort out Rethnor. We assumed it would be some sort of assassination attempt on my captain, Captain Hartushan Rethnor of the ship Rethnor. Now,
Is
I
his
asked,
name Rethnor?
yeah, that's the captain of there's like one of the there's like 5 mayors basically that run this town. The lowest of them, the least important one is called Captain Rethnor. This guy's called Peanut, and so he's looking over and he says, I asked these to look into it for a healthy fee, and I mean, I guess you've kind of done it. You know, if we find that Rethnor dies and you've squandered our only lead, then I'm sure that the guard will have words with you all, but if he doesn't die, well, Captain Retnor's in charge of the guard here in town.
Yes.
And you will have inadvertently...
Why would they come after us if he dies? Why is that our fault?
Because you squandered the only lead we had to find out who and why they want to kill him.
Wouldn't you find it out for yourself then? Wouldn't they kill you? Because you didn't do your job?
Well, that's why I sent you.
Oh, God, please don't argue with him yet. He hasn't even paid you guys.
I just kind of look around for a minute. I look back down at Peanut. I'm just like, I'll be honest, I agree with you. Apparently we did not do exactly what you wanted us to do. But you said that you saw this red-wearing man speaking with Olag, and that you were certain, you say, that he was giving him some kind of information about killing your captain? Right.
Exactly. He had red...
How did you know this information? Where did you get your information?
I was there when I saw him.
How do you know that he was talking about your captain?
I don't. I specifically heard the words exchanged between these two people. The gentleman in red robes and this half-orc, who apparently is Olag. He said, I can offer you 500 gold pieces each to sort out Rethnor. 250 now, 250 when the full job is done, and I assume that'll be enough to cover your silence also. I didn't want to go over there and be like, hey, nice to meet you, I'm Peanut, everybody knows who I am. What the fuck are you doing trying to kill my captain? Which is why I sent you to look into it. Now, if you've killed the assassin, excellent, great job. If you haven't, bad job. Do you understand there, Dragonborn?
I kind of look at him for a minute as he's kind of talking super stern to me like that, and I kind of cross my arms. And even though it's obvious that I know I'm outnumbered, I just kind of look at him real quick and I go, Yes. I very much so understand what you're saying, but your tone says a lot more than what you're saying, and I'd suggest that maybe you just understand that I'm not scared of you. I understand you've got more people. And just understand that I understand how you were just talking.
You might have killed some little fish half-orc, but I run this town. I'm literally in charge of the guard. I'm Rethnar's right-hand man.
Yes.
I'll talk to you however I wish.
I know you will, and you can kill me, and
Perhaps
so forth, correct?
you could look into it. Look into the man in the red robes. I'll go and get your little reward, and I'll bring it back at midnight. And let's hope Captain Rithnar survives the week. How about that?
I have no problem with you.
He kind of just folds his own arms and sits back down in the corner of his little alleyway and looks up at each of you.
Yeah, I'm completely okay with finding out what's going on with Red Robes. What about the rest of you guys?
I nod.
Yeah.
I smirk when I nod.
Well, I guess we'll be back at midnight then.
Right.
As you start heading out, the Peanut kind of looks up to Kaval and says, I suggest you try and rein in that one's tongue. He won't get too far walking around killing people on the Rethnor clan. Talking back to people like that. Not here in Luskan.
Trust me, I'm trying.
Kind of shakes his head and tuts as you each head out. Pulls his robes up over his head and sits back, contemplating. Alright, where do you guys want to go now?
Do you guys have any idea where the Red Robe is?
At this point, they have never seen him or know anything about him.
I, as we're kind of walking away, we're kind of grouped up again. I look over at the two of them and I'm just like, I'm going to be honest, we obviously don't know where this Red Robe is and we're going to have to ask around. I understand that, and I think that I know the first place that we could go.
Lead the way then, Damien.
Kaval, do you have any ideas? Because I have an idea.
You don't suggest going
I do.
back there?
Yes.
Do you think they'll let us in?
Might.
Well, they might not let you guys in, but they don't know who I am.
True.
He has a point.
I was also thinking about going to the old lady we saw a couple days ago that apparently, from what you guys said, fancied me and seeing if she knew anything.
That's the old woman that
There's
sells
also
the
that.
dolls. She is like 40 feet away from you at her stall at the end of this alleyway, at the end of her alley. The old lady who you who propositioned you to go home with her.
Yep. I
Yeah,
point
yeah.
up.
Yeah, that's the doll
I point
seller.
up at her, and I'm just like, maybe we should go have a word.
All right then. Go on, Damien.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, maybe we could do something else.
Well, I thought you were going to say let's go back to the Cutlass.
Why would we go back to the Cutlass?
Well, I thought we were gonna see about,
Let's
Oh,
try
I thought we were
all
looking for a place
leads.
to eat at this point.
Oh, I'll follow you.
I'm so confused. What are we doing?
Let's talk to your lady friend, and then we'll go to the Cutlass if we exhaust this lead. So,
As she says, lady friend, I look at her, I'm like, what's that mean?
never mind, Damien. We'll get to it. What I need you to do is to try to talk to her a little bit. Try to be nice. Can you do that, Damien?
I look at her like super confused and like almost a part of my barbarian comes out from it, the really stupid barbarian in me, and looks at her and was just like, yes. Yeah, yes. And I just look super stupid right now. And I look like I have no clue what's happening after she talked to
Perfect.
me. Because for some reason what she said just made me feel dumbfounded, and I'm not sure why. And I'm just kind of like, and I walk over to where the old lady looks like she is.
Yeah, I mean, so when you ran into this in the, you know when you like ran down the alleyway and you couldn't see him at first and then came out the other end? She was just straight up there. She just didn't really look at you or anything or interact with you. So you know she's definitely there.
I kind of slowly walk up where she's at, and how's she looking right now? Like, what's she doing?
She just appears to be sewing a doll. She just appears to be creating one.
Ma'am!
More saunter.
So, from out of an alleyway, this massive great dragonborn appears and just goes, "Madam!" And let's see how she reacts. I'm going to give her a con save. Mate, she doesn't even flinch. She just, without looking up, says, "Ah, hello there. Look at this." And in her hand, the doll that she is sewing is a doll of Leo.
I look down and I go, "Have you seen that man recently?"
This little one. I thought he was
Yes.
your little friend, wasn't he?
He was, but he's disappeared.
Oh dear. Well, I always sell dolls of people I meet. I'm working on one of you and your big paladin, lovely as well, but I want to get the right things for her because I love her. She's a lovely lassie, she is. And then the other two walk out.
Yeah, Dora just kind of like leans around Damien and just kind of waves at the old lady. She's like, "Hey."
Well, she hasn't seen you before, but then when Kiwo appears, there she is. Oh, lovely paladin of Torum. Lovely to see you again, my dear.
Lovely to see you as always. I hope you've been taking care of yourself.
Of course. She carries on
May I ask
working
you
on the
a
doll.
question?
Certainly. What's the matter there?
How often do you... I'm going to try to ask this simply. How often do you see men in white robes... Sorry, not white. Red robes running around? Do you ever see any ones that look very particular by chance?
I've seen some people in red robes. Not uncommon. There's, there was one recently. She leans over and there's all these tiny little dolls. They're really poorly done. They look like the Sackboys from, what was that game? You know, Sackboy from Thingy.
Little Big Planet.
Little Big Planet, yeah. They're like really poor. They kind of suck, but they're kind of cute in their own weird little way. But they're like really shoddily made, like poor materials and things filled with like hay. And she picks one up and it's like a Sackboy that's got like a red robe on it and some long black hair. And there's a big old symbol on the back. And she says, "This one I saw the other day. Yes. 2, 3, 4 days ago. No. Would you like it? I'll sell it to you for half price there, my sweet lady of Torum." She offers it towards you, Kiwo.
To me?
Yeah, it's a doll of somebody in red robes with long black hair, which
Oh.
fits the description somewhat.
Has she passed it to me?
She's like offering it towards you, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna take it from her hand and I'm gonna inspect it.
All right.
Look at her. Have you... When did you see this man? Do you know this man?
Oh, no, he was just buying things on here, and I thought he was interesting, looking very beautiful in the face.
Oh, really?
I
When was
always-
this?
I make dolls of people I see, you see?
How much do you want for the doll?
For you, 4 gold. For you, 2 gold.
I look down at her for a second. She says that, and I just kind of laugh a little bit.
She loves Kaval.
Yes, you do. All right, I'll pay for this, but when did you see him?
Let's see. Might have been 2 days ago. Might have been 3. He was just buying some fruit and I don't know, his usual things. I think he might be staying at one of these here inns in town. I haven't seen him around much. Doesn't look like he's from around here.
Oh, really? So whereabouts in the area? Did you see him go anywhere in particular? What was he buying? Can you
Aye,
tell
that-
us?
That'll be
Anything.
2 gold, that one. Would you like another? Her eyes kind of glaze over a bit in that kind of old person wishy-washy eyes way.
I'm gonna hand her 2 gold for the doll.
Oh, thank you very much.
Is there anything else that you can tell us? We need to know everything about this man.
Aye, what
As
would
you
you like
say,
to know?
I roll my eyes and look over at Damien, like, sort of nod my head so it'd get a little bit closer, you know.
The last couple seconds as all this is going on, I was like peeking around at the area to see if there was a doll that looked like me anywhere, or even like looked like it was half started. Did I
The one
find
that's
it?
in her hand, is you. Oh no, it was Leo, wasn't it? No, there's not one of you.
I don't even really pay. I just like after she's told us and we have the doll. I just sit there and I'm just looking around for a doll that could potentially look like me, and I'm like, seems we have what we've came for here. We should probably ask some more questions to some other people and maybe we'll do some things. And I look down and I'm like, Benny, I'm really trying to find a doll that looks like me.
There's not one.
Continue to look regardless.
All right, well, thank you.
Start shuffling through dolls.
There's like no Dragonborn. They all appear to be human.
I look down at her real quick and I go,
Be nice.
kind of look over at my shoulder, my other shoulder. I'm like, what the? Oh, how come you don't have any thing than human for your dolls?
Well, don't see much but humans in Luskan.
Yeah.
I only make dolls of people I see.
No, that's all. She says that, and I pick up a doll that just resembles whatever at that point. How much for this one?
Oh, that's a prized possession of mine. That one will be 5 gold. That's Captain Rethnor, one of the captains here. You might have heard of him, in charge of the guard.
Kind of look at her for a second, and I kind of squint. And I kind of think for a minute, and I'm like, I'll take it. And I go, but I'll give you 3 gold.
Give me a persuasion check.
Huh. Okay, that seems like a fair deal.
And I hand her over 3 gold.
Cool. Yeah. So you have a Rethnor doll, but it's just a poorly made Rethnor doll. He's kind of a so again, imagine a sort of sack boy, big long black beard, big like overzealous eyebrows, blue eyes. He's got like a little dagger in one hand and a sword in the other. Yeah, just like maroon robes, like you've seen a lot of the people in the Rethnor crew wearing around town. They were a lot of maroon. The other one, Kiwa, give me a religion check real quick while you look over the other one. So this is like, again, another sack boy, kind of long red robe with kind of a gold chain, really obviously around his shirt. It's got like a weird shape, but it's just so poorly crafted that you can't really tell what the shape was supposed to be, but it kind of just looks like a sort of strange pattern, maybe a flower, something like that. And on the back of the robe, there's a sort of crescent moon with a single star. Give me a history check. Looks kind of like the symbol for the city Silvery Moon, which is... oh, look, actually, I think I have a world map now. Oh, no, you don't have a world map. Damn it, I didn't upload it. Never mind. It's a fairly magical city. Not too far, but still quite a journey towards the east of Luskan. And you'd recognize that, but the thing on around his neck just is too poorly crafted for you to make out.
All right, well, I'm gonna pick up that doll and, you know, just out of curiosity. And how much is this one?
That's the one that you have, so you've already paid for that. We'll just we'll call
really?
that red robe doll. And yeah, Damien, you have a Rethnor doll or a Captain Rethnor doll.
I actually, once I got the Rethnor doll and I grabbed it, I pulled out a piece of the 50-foot hemp rope that I have, and I took like, we'll say like, you know, we'll make it into a 49-foot rope. And I took a foot of the rope off and I cut it, and then I took the Rethnor doll, and then by one of the hands, or actually around the waist. I tied it, and then I took it, and then I let it hang a little bit on my side, and then I tied it to something on my side, whether it's my pants or my chain shirt. But I make sure that I tie it somewhere where it's very obviously noticeable for anybody that's walking and see me with it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, a hemp rope is usually really it's like the thick shit that you climb down a mountain with, but you can still, I'll let you. You can probably unwind some of it, and do something like that.
You on the rest of it.
Yeah, just for the record in future, it's that big fucking thick shit that you normally would tie like to the edge of a boat or something. All right, cool. Yeah, so the old woman carries on kind of sewing this little doll. It's let's see. It's a fairly poor rendition, but it's clearly Leo. He's wearing sort of Leo's clothes that he came to town in. He's got a little lute and that kind of long hair of his. What do you guys want to do now?
I look over at Caval, and I then look over at our newfounded friend again, and I look down. I kind of look back up again. I'm like, I think we need to find some more information. I think going to the Cutlass was maybe a good idea.
I actually think you're right. And like at this point, she kind of like steps in front of both of them to like talk to the lady because she's seeing all these dolls and now she wants a doll of herself too. And she's just like, "Hi, I'm Dorora. It's nice to meet you."
Hello there, love.
And she flashes like this big old smile at her, and just being super cheesy because she wants a doll so bad.
I mean, yeah. Do you want to just randomly buy a doll?
She's still working on the Leo doll, right? Yeah, she doesn't buy a doll.
Okay, but you're looking at the Leo doll as if you want it.
Yes.
Okay. She says, "If you want this one, dearie, it'll be done in a couple of hours."
All right, I'll be back. We gotta come back in a bit anyway, so.
All right. I'll see you then. Nice to see you again. Blessings be to Torm.
Over to you, Kia.
And you too. Come on, Damien, let's get out of here.
I look as she says, "Let's go, Damien." I don't know, like weird trigger happens in my head, kind of like the same one that happened earlier, and I was like, feel really dumbfounded again. I'm like, hey. I just follow along behind her.
All right. Are you guys heading towards the Cutlass?
I guess I'm gonna slowly walk over there. I'm hoping that Damien's at my side, maybe.
I am.
I don't...
Dorora's still stalling by the stall, but she then like catches up to them.
Actually, are there many people around us?
Yeah, it's like middle of the market day. There's a whole market.
Okay.
This is like that market road that runs along the bottom. Essentially, for you, Wish, it's this road here that you're on. You'll see on the map it suddenly appeared.
As we're slowly making our way to the Cutlass, I'm gonna just sort of, as I'm going down, I want to keep asking people, like, have you seen this man? And hold up the little doll.
All right, yeah, roll me a d20, just a random d20.
Okay.
Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man?
So as you're walking along, you ask a couple of people and they kind of just shake their heads. And then there's this little boy who you sort of see, he's running up towards you sort of thing. He's not wearing too many items of clothing. He's just got a pair of like poor shorts on kind of thing, barefoot, like a vest top on. Looks very skinny, very like underfed. And he's running up towards you. And then you sort of look down at him and you show the little doll. And he says, "Oh, maybe, might have, depends on who's asking."
Well, quite obviously I'm asking.
All right then, see you later.
He goes to run
Okay.
off.
Hold on. Dorora steps out really quick, and she tries to step in front of the little boy, and she's like, "No, I'm asking," to try to like use her, even though he's a kid. I know it's weird, but she's trying to charm him as well and get some information out of him.
All right, give me a persuasion check. You have to beat a 9, and you don't. he just ducks under your legs, and you're standing there like chin up, like I'm asking, and then you look down, and he's just gone. He's already gone. Give me a perception check as well.
Perception?
You do not notice that he steals from you. Let's see.
Oh shit!
He has stolen from you. Your winter blanket is gone, and I've removed it from your character sheet. So as you see him kind of bundling something up as he's running away from you, and he kind of looks over his shoulder, and he's gone. Yeah, he's running
And
off into the crowd. You don't notice that he's
Does she-
stolen anything. He
She
just runs
doesn't
off.
know, but
No.
she's just like, she's still embarrassed that she like stepped out in front of him and he just like scoots to her legs. Okay. And she just stands there
Just
for a
does not
second,
give a
looks
fuck.
back up. Yeah. At Caval and Damien, and just is like, then she just walks forward like nothing just happened.
I just kind of sit there for a second as all this is going on and we're walking, and I kind of look around and do I? There's like you said, there's a bunch of people around.
Yeah, there's loads of people.
I literally, I see somebody walking past, and I literally just like kind of stand in front of them like, pardon me.
Oh, yes, a little young-looking man, maybe in his 20s, holding a few boxes as if he's moving between stalls.
And I look at him, I look for a second, I go, firstly, are you in a hurry? I don't want to take your time if you're very busy.
Well, it depends what you want there.
He looks up at you. It doesn't seem to be in too much of a hurry, just a little bit shocked at first that someone just stopped in front of him.
Where's your stall?
I don't own a stall. I just work. I just move things between stalls for a few copper here and there.
Oh. And as he says that, I pull out a gold, and I look at him, and I'm just kind of like playing with it in my hand. I'm kind of like looking at his reaction to me playing with gold in my hand.
I mean, he
Kinda
looks
trying to
fairly greedily at the gold.
greedily at gold. Okay. I kind of look at him from like, and then I kind of like turn to my right a little bit where the Rethnor doll's at to kind of see, like, make sure he notices it. You know what I mean? Does he kind of take any part into it?
I mean, he looks at it and then looks back up at you.
Is there anything that you wanted there, sir?
I was just curious by chance, you seen any long, dark-haired, red robe-looking figures lately?
Let's find out if he did.
Might have done. I saw a couple of people in town with red robes on a few weeks ago. Although I think they might have been part of the Arcane Brotherhood, so you don't want to mess with them. Oh, wait, there was that other guy that was in the Cutlass the other night. Strange-looking fella to be in the Cutlass, far too well-dressed, you know.
The Arcane Brotherhood?
Do you remember? Do you remember? As she says that, I kind of nod to her real quick, and I look back at him, and I go, "You should tell her a little bit about that real quick."
Well, the Arcane Brotherhood, and then he kind of looks around and then looks back at the gold again. I don't know too much about it, to be honest. Damien does, though. You know that there's it's kind of like a wizard's guild, but they're also kind of a nasty bit of work.
I look up, and I kind of
Very powerful
back
and
up.
generally just not something that normally you would pursue in town.
I look back over at him, and I look back over at her real quick, and I'm like, "Well, they're I guess the best way to put it is they're kind of like a mage vigilantes." That kind of makes sense.
The kid
Little
looks
bit.
immediately frightened and starts looking around quickly, like,
Well, it's nice to meet you all. I'll be on my way.
I start twiddling the coin in the sunlight. I try to catch it into his eye. Literally, the sunlight from the coin hitting the coin. You know how like
Yeah.
you do it like your phone.
He
I try to get it
kinda-
in his eye.
he kind of doesn't look too bothered. Looks more like he's afraid now.
I look down at him real quick and I go, "Sir, before you go, you mind if I ask you maybe one, maybe two more questions?" And I pulled at him.
Yeah, he swiftly catches the gold, like, looks up at you.
All right, real quick then.
Firstly, can you tell me why it is that you just got very nervous?
Well, yeah, I don't
And I
like...
kind of look at him real quick and I get in real deep and close to him, just like, "You can tell me just me if you need."
Yeah, well, you've paid him, and he kind of whispers up. I don't like messing with the Arcane Brotherhood. You see, they take people sometimes. I don't know. I think honestly, they're the ones that run this town.
Kind of look at him for a second. Kind of look back down. I kind of look him over real quick.
You
The
might
guy
want to
that
be.
you said you saw in the Cutlass the other night, red robe. You seen him since you saw him the other night?
No.
My last question to you is, and I kind of like reach in my pocket real deep again, like I'm gonna pull something out, kind of as to try to get him excited. And I look at him, I'm like, do you know anybody around this town that might be able to tell us a little more about what we're looking into?
Well, you could ask at the Cutlass, I suppose. Let's see. Give me a persuasion check, real quick. You know, look, you didn't hear it from me, okay? But if you speak to Lyra, well, you know, a coin here, a coin there. She's not called Lyra Tattlesworth for nothing. If you don't mind,
Where?
I'll be on my way.
Where would I find this Lyra?
She works
Oh,
at the
she
Cutlass.
was the blonde one.
Aye. Listen, I wouldn't go around talking about the Arcane Brotherhood too much. Just saying. Alright. Bye. Skitters off with his boxes.
Well, I think we are taking our trip to the Cutlass, after all.
And each of you heads off. Give me perception checks. Dorora, give me an investigation check.
Investigate.
Oh, fucking hell, man, you're too strong. During this entire conversation between the boy and Damien, you notice that as soon as Damien mentions the Arcane Brotherhood, there's a person behind one of the stalls. Just looks like a fairly average-looking human with just some common clothes on. He's selling like bread and cheese on this stall, and for a moment, as you're looking at him, his image appears to shimmer and change a little bit, and you still see through this kind of illusion that he's projecting, and you see a much older man in these very dark robes, and as soon as you see him and he sees you, he kind of shakes his head, holds one hand to his lips into the kind of shh symbol, and then he kind of closes his eyes, and then his illusion reappears in front of you of this man, and he looks up, and just as people start walking past, he go, "Cheese and bread, get your cheese and bread," and you guys can continue onwards. We'll take a quick break, and then when we return, we'll see what these guys get up to at the Cutlass. But you sort of, as a magic user, you'll kind of be aware that this person had like an illusion up, and became very interested in the conversation as soon as the Arcane Brotherhood were mentioned. We'll go to a break real quick, and upon returning, we shall see what these three get up to next. We'll see you in a few minutes. And don't forget, this show is sponsored by Class A Drugs. welcome back to the Wolves of Water, where the Grang are heading down. I was going to say group, and then I was going to say gang, and I don't know which one it would be. The Grang are moving down the main road. I've done it again with the thing here. Towards the Cutlass. If you guys are just kind of powering your way there, then you will arrive. Again, the Cutlass is kind of found at a crossroads, a little bit off of that main road towards the south of this weird kind of port town. It's a fairly run-down looking place, but not it's not necessarily falling apart, but it looks like it's kind of battered and broken. There's that broken window where someone was clearly thrown through it. And again, from inside you hear that there's a kind of a fairly raucous atmosphere of some dangerous types inside. Most of you have been here before. Dorori wouldn't have been here before, but it's not known to be a very nice pub, a not very nice tavern. It's fairly sort of obviously full of the lowlives and the scumbags and the mercenaries of the town, but it's a fairly large like open plan ground floor with a huge bar along one side. Actually, are you guys going in, or are you gonna head outside?
I go in.
Dora's gonna head in, but she's actually gonna keep to the side. She's gonna try to make it look like she's not with them just yet, only because, you know, she caught on to the fact that they said that they had gotten in trouble there before, and she might feel that she has an upper hand in case they get into trouble. You know what I mean? Like, is that okay? So
Yeah.
she like kind of hangs back, hangs
Like
in the shadows.
kind of goes in last.
Uh-huh.
Kaval?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just gonna follow behind.
All right. So presumably Damien heads in first, and then Kaval. Again, like as you head in, people kind of look you over. There's like most of the sort of pirates, merchants, mercenaries, and common folk that are in here all kind of turn and give you each a look as you head in, and then that tall, sort of thick bearded, bald gentleman, the burly guy, heads over to you, and again with a stern look on his face says, "I'll have your steel. You'll get it back. Should you pay your way, we might keep it. Yeah, so should you fail to pay your way, we might keep it." "Ah, it's you. Well, I'll definitely be taking your steel, sir." Kind of gives
I
you
look at him.
a knowing grin.
I look at him and I give him everything but the dagger hidden.
All right, so you hand over your big, great sword. Kiwo, are you doing the same?
I am. I'll hand over my great sword again, reluctantly, but
Dororia, he looks at you and just says, "You're new here. We take everybody's steel, so there's no trouble."
Oh, yeah, sure. She starts like whipping out like her short sword. She takes off her belt that's full of daggers. Like she just busts out and like he kind of well, I'm guessing that he'll look at her like she's strange or something. That's your.
He doesn't seem to even be slightly perturbed by all of these things. He takes each of your weapons and puts them on this table, and then one by one starts moving them behind the bar, and you guys can head in. Again, everybody here kind of looks kind of rough looking. There's an underlying air of thievery and danger from everyone in general, but mostly people just leave themselves to themselves. Up at the bar, there is a blonde-looking waitress who you'll recognize. She's been here both of the times that you've previously been here before. Human. I think, Kiwo, you spoke to her at one point, right?
that I did. Damien's next to me, right?
You'll recognize her as Lyra.
Okay, well, just Damien might not recognize her. I'm gonna point her, Damien. That one. Over there, the busty blonde.
I look at her as she says that and I'm just like, yes? What about her? Yeah, yes.
That's the one you need to speak with.
Okay, but all right. And I just walk away confused, and I walk up to the bar, and I just sit down at the bar, and I just wait for her to come over to me.
Yeah, she heads over and brings a mug up and sets it down in front of you and says, "Anything I can get you? We've only really got mead on tap at the moment."
You have a moment. At the moment.
For what, my dearie?
Conversation.
Sure. If you're a paying customer, of course.
I look at her and how much is a glass of mead?
It'll be 1 copper.
I instead of chucking her 1 copper, where did my thingy go? Uh-oh. Oh, it was dead. Roll 20 died for me for a second. I just throw her, I don't think I have copper. I only have silver because I just throw her a whole silver instead.
Okay, yeah. So she sort of takes it, she looks at you, and then brings out 9 copper and places them on the counter before you and starts to pull the mead.
I slide 5 of that copper forward.
She glances left and right and then pockets it and nods at you a little bit. So what is it? Outsider.
And I kind of look at her for a second and I go, about a week ago, from what I understand, there was a man in red robes with long hair, dark hair. He was talking to Ola. Chance, do you remember this?
Yeah, her eyes widen at both the mention of the gentleman in the red robe with the hair and then at Ola kind of a little more, and she looks around a little more hastily. Nobody seems to be too bothered by what you're saying, and she sort of like ducks her head a little bit and says, not much. Don't remember them too much. Terrible thing what happened to Olag, of course.
I kind of look at her, cock my head. I'm not really sure she's telling me the truth, but it doesn't really matter. And I kind of sit back for a second and I'm just like, why does everybody in this town seem so scared when I bring up the man in the red robes?
Scared? I'm sure they're not scared. Just a paying customer and a fine gentleman.
See, I kind of look at her for a second and I just kind of look down and, do you know if this gentleman is still here?
Give me a persuasion check. I'm afraid I don't know if he's still here. He wasn't staying at the Cutlass, though.
Oh, he was not staying at the Cutlass, you say? He may not have been staying here, but do you have any recollection of where he's staying? And I'm just literally just asking her kind of the same question, different tone, to see how she answers it.
Give me a persuasion check and then an insight check. What is Dorora and Kaval doing at this point?
At this point, Dorora is like mingling. She's still hanging back from Kaval and Damien. She's actually like going around to the different tables and kind of like trying to, talk to a few people and like try to get some information about the guy in the red robe.
All right, so you're just asking around?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a d20 real quick while you're sort of looking about. Okay, yeah, so you kind of approach a table of people. There are 2 people at this table with their heads just on the table asleep. They're clearly drunk too much and they're out of it. There's a guy who's kind of fairly drunk looking sitting there. Doesn't really look much like one of the pirates in town. Looks maybe like he's more like a merchant or something, but not a very good one based on the poor clothes that he's wearing, kind of dirty face. Human, couple of teeth missing, bleary-eyed from alcohol, and he looks up and says, "Red robes? Yeah, I might have seen him."
You might have seen him? And I guess she like tries to smile a little bit and see like if he's is telling her the truth.
Give me an insight check. He's blatantly just asking you for money.
All right. With that being said, she'll pull out one of her gold pieces, her little stack of gold pieces, and slide it down on the table towards him. Puts it down on the table, slides it over. Have you seen him?
The gold piece very quickly disappears, and he says, "Yeah, I seen him. I seen him in here, a couple of nights ago."
All right. Can you tell me more?
Well, I think he's from Silvery Moon. Pretty far out of his way. I don't know what some posh lot like him's doing in here, though.
Have you seen where he stays? Have you seen anything else about him?
Give me a persuasion check.
There it is.
There it is. I don't know what happened there. I think Roll20 died.
Yeah,
I think it
Roll20
did.
is-
I
Ferocious.
thought I had died. I thought my computer had died. I was like,
I
oh.
was worried.
Nobody was saying anything. I was like, and I'm dead.
Did everyone just do the same thing? Do you just look at your
Yeah,
shit?
I
I
think
was
we're all
like,
just we're dead.
I'm still streaming, am I? Nope. All right. I was convinced my computer had died. Let's see. Yeah, you sort of. What was your question? I've already forgotten.
I said, have you seen him? Do you know where he's at?
Oh, where he was
Where I
staying.
can find him? Yeah.
Yeah, he looks up and says, as far as I know, he was staying at the Seven Sails with all them posh lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I reckon. You seem like the type what might want to stay there as well. But maybe I could persuade you to stay here with me.
Yeah, I actually, I gotta go. At that point, she just turns around and starts walking over to Caval and leans over and whispers what she found out, that the guy in the red robe is actually at the Seven Cells where they're at.
Cool, yeah. So, Damien, while you're speaking to Lyra, she sort of leans in close, and you can tell that she's just a little bit concerned about just openly giving you any information. She says, "Listen, you meet me outside in 5. I'll tell you where you can find him for the right price," and winks at you.
As she winks, I just go, "Oh, I see," and I wink back, and I go, "No problem," because in my head, I think that I am about to have to give her something, not money, for. I think the exact thing that she's thinking, but for myself. I'm thinking she's trying to get something.
All right.
I just agree and nod my head and stand up and go back over to the girls.
Yeah. And you sort of walk up at around the same time as Dorora does, and Dorora's sort of quietly telling something to Caval.
So I know where the red guy is. He's at this the Seven Sails. This guy over here told me.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure. I mean, as sure as I could be.
Well, there's good news. Here in a little bit, I'm going to go find out for sure.
Well, what do you have to... How?
Well, our friend here at the counter has asked me to meet her out back, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean by that. I don't think she's going to tell you what you need to know.
I'm not really concerned with that at this point.
Oh my god. Do we really have time for this, Damien?
I kind of look her over real quick, and I kind of just stop, and I kind of look her up and down one more time, and I get kind of an irritated look on my face, and I go, "Excuse me, time?"
I realize that time is a trigger for you. You know what? Do what you need to do.
Trigger.
Couple...
What does that mean?
Damien, just go find out what you need to find out. And she kind of gives him a little push and runs her hand over her face like a super fail fish.
I huff at her and I insist and I go, no. What
Lyra,
do you mean just
Lyra
fine?
disappears out of the back. You see her kind of step out.
Yeah, you know what? Don't worry about what I have to go after your lady. Like,
kind of over my corner of my eye, I look at her like, this conversation's not over. And I walk out the side door, go to the back where I'm presuming she may have went. But before I go, on my way out, I stop the gentleman to get all my gear.
Are you going out the door that she went out? So she went out there's a door like behind the bar that's just the far end. You could get to it, but she went out that door. Are you going out the front?
Shit. So I'm just gonna follow her out that door then.
Okay.
don't
Yeah.
keep the lady waiting.
You sort of head through the door. A couple of people watch you kind of weirdly. But the big sort of burly guy, just watches you as if this was okay for some reason. And then you head out the back. And then there's like a kitchen area. And there's a really, really overweight chef just sat in one corner, just eating the things that are clearly supposed to be being prepared for like the food. And he's just sitting there eating things. And he nods at you as you head into this very small kitchen area, very dirty kitchen area, and he just points to another door at the far end of this room. You heading out? Heading out, you find yourself in a very sort of gloomy alleyway, and stood there in the shade of the sort of early afternoon sunshine is Lyra, and she beckons you over and says, "Right, money first."
I look at her for a second before she says anything, and I look around. Can I do a perception check?
Yeah.
Well, fuck my asshole.
Yeah, you all good. There's no one about whatsoever. You're fine.
Great. Awesome. I'm fine. Well, since I'm fine, I look at her for a second. I go, money first. I'm confused.
Why, do you want the information on the red robe guy or not?
Well, I would love to have that information, but I thought that you called me out. Wait. Kind of look at her up and down real quick and kind of look around. Can I roll another perception?
What are you trying to do?
I'm looking around yet again to see if there's anything around me.
No.
Sick people especially.
You can have that 4.
Okay. All right. And I kind of look at her for a second. I'm like, and I lie, and I don't really have much money on me, but I thought you called me out here for a completely different reason.
Oh my god. You're disgusting. What is wrong with men?
Huh? What are you
No.
talking about?
That is not why we're out here. Listen,
Wait, what are you discussing?
I thought you wanted information, and I need coin. That's
But
all
I
it
do
is.
need information, and I have coin. What are you speaking of?
She just kind of shakes her head. Coin, quick, before they see me missing.
And I literally throw gold at her.
1 gold.
1 gold.
She huffs.
I'm confused. What do you want from me, and what information are you going to give me?
You give me 15 gold, I'll give you his name.
15 gold, you'll give me his name. How about I give you 2 gold and you...
Give me a persuasion check. She says,
Fine.
Sounds like you need it more than I do.
5 gold.
5 gold. Kind of look her up and down real quick, and I sit there for a second, and I'm like, for his name, I will give you the amount I've stated of 3.
she sort of shakes her head and then goes, do you know what? Fine, quick.
I give her 3 more gold.
She like slyly pockets it and says,
Listen, I spoke to him a bit, alright? I was kind of intrigued by him. He looked like he was rich, I'm not gonna lie. But his name's Carthel Reed, and he's a super posh noble type from Silvery Moon. You know where that is?
Come again, where what is?
Silvery Moon. It's a sort of magic place. I don't know. I've never been anywhere but Loskan in my entire life. Yeah, you know where it is. It's a pretty big city in a forest to the east, and it's known for being a hub of fairly decent people and fairly powerful magicians and wizards and things like that. Yeah, so you're aware of where it is.
All right. Before I leave, can I ask you one more question?
What?
Why is everybody in this town so scared of the men in the room?
What did you say? Oh, the man in the robes? Yeah. She says, well, I don't know, he's some sort of powerful influence. I don't know, he's rich and he knows people, and I don't know, some people have been going missing that have been dealing with him. At first I thought Olag had died because he'd been speaking to him, but then I found out that Olag died because he pissed you off.
I see. And I kind of look around my shoulder, and I look over my other shoulder again, and I kind of get like this weird feeling that we're not alone. But I don't think there's anything else I can roll to see if we're not alone, because I can't I wish there was a way to listen that wasn't perception, but well, that's perception.
I mean, if you have some spells, there are spells that do stuff like that, but...
Stupid. I kind of look at her again and I was like, well, thank you very much for your time, and understand that And I look at her one last time, I go, what were you talking about, and why did you call me disgusting?
She just kind of shakes her head and heads inside.
I sit there super confused, and I just walk in behind her.
Yeah, she heads behind the bar. She kind of looks a little like shifty as she moves through the kitchen, but then as soon as she heads out, it's like she sort of switches entirely, and she walks out and she kind of slaps someone and laughs and goes to pull a pint for someone else and looks as if she hasn't been outside or isn't shifty or maybe slightly frightened at all. You can head back in and find the others.
I head back in and find the others.
What are the others doing?
Well, at this point, Dorora is definitely already at the table to pick up her things, and she's ready to head back to the Seven Cells because she's convinced that she got the right information.
I'm picking up my great sword.
Heading out.
Yep. Dora's not even waiting for Damien. She's it could take a while. But knowing Damien, it probably only took 5 seconds.
All right, so you collect your weapons and things and head out. Damien, as you head in, you just catch the glint of Caval's armor as they head out the front door.
I follow behind them, catch up.
Yeah, you grab all of your things. The burly man gives you a nod, and you head outside, and they appear to be making their way back towards the Seven Sails, heading north through the town as you catch up with them.
As I catch up with them, it's like, So you said you knew where he was at?
Yeah, I told you at the seven.
Name?
No, I didn't get a name, but
I got a name.
You got a name. What's the name?
Wouldn't you like to know?
How was your date?
Date? What do you mean? And I look at her super confused.
And at this point, she just once again ignores the question because he's so dumb. She just can't even deal. She just smiles to herself and keeps walking on.
As she walks and walks on, I look down at the ground and I mumble out loud to myself. I'm just like, I don't understand why everybody thought that. I don't even know what they thought. I was just going back there because she winked at me, and where I'm from, actually that just usually means that they want to have a conversation. I'm confused. Called disgusting, and shakes her head at me, and I'm mumbling these things as I'm walking behind, just super confused.
Oh my goodness.
So the group head back towards the Seven Sails Inn in search of somebody called Carthel Reed, who's wearing a long red robe, apparently has like long black hair, and a symbol of silvery moon somewhere on him. And I think that is where we'll end today as you head to try and find this guy who appears to have been the one who incited some sort of possible assassination of one of these captains of the town. We'll pick up next week. Hopefully we'll have Pony back and he'll just randomly wander in like, oh my god, guys, it was crazy. I appeared on a boat. We'll see. But yeah, the group start moving towards this this inn here. And I was going to say something else, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it for next week as you guys carry on. Not much of a huge cliffhanger, but I also don't want to I don't want to do too much without sweet little Pony Punch. You know, I feel like he's missing out on some bits and I don't want him to because we all love him. So yeah, we'll end there. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for playing, Wish. I know it was a weird episode to just be sort of thrust into, you know, just halfway.
It was great.
Sort of on the back end of the big main quest kind of thing, and sort of thrown straight into some combat and things. But I think you did great. What does everyone in chat think of Wish? If you don't think that she was the best, then you get banned. So
Yeah, get banned, fools.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Let's do a couple of shout outs and then we'll all go away. We'll all go away and do some Class A drugs. Sounds like I'll be doing Class A drugs. I'm just really
Some Class A eggs.
I'm just really hungry.
Me too.
Let's start with Kiwo so that Kiwo can run away.
Hello, my name is Kiwo. Sorry I was so quiet. I normally play lots of video games. Follow me, twitch.tv/Kiwo. Kiwi on.
Kiwi on.
Not Kiwo.
Tiger?
Hello, I am Tiger Rider. I stream typically Saturday through Wednesdays. Usually right about 45 minutes from now, 7 p.m. Central Time. You want to come out sometime? Check it out. Hi.
And
Bye.
last but not least, our absolute scrubbity scrub noob. Wish, where can people find you?
Hi, you guys can follow me at Wishfully. That's all I's, no L's. It's Wishfully. And I stream a lot of different stuff. We actually just started at a new time because I start work next week at a new job. So no more work for me. But yeah, we start at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard and we play until like 11 and we have lots of fun. And it's really cool. And you guys should hang out and watch me role-playing games and be awful at games.
So yeah, make sure to follow the noob Wish. Everyone will be back. Hopefully we'll have the full cast back, and obviously not including Kitty because she's at school. But the new full cast back, and we'll be able to go in strong into this tavern as you continue to uncover the mysteries surrounding the red-robed man, and also head back to Peanut at midnight and finally maybe hand in the quest and have a true finished quest thing here and gain your reward. You can find me, Brad Woto, here sometimes. I've been streaming a little bit this week just because I've had some time off, but mostly I stream some D&D things. Sometimes we do some D&D at the weekend, and I also run another show called Fractured Worlds at John Sandman's channel, which also features Mr. El Tigre Rite as Poo Poo Cakes. Other than that, we'll be back next week with episode 7 or something. I think I screwed up and I said it was episode 5 this week, and it's not. I think it was episode 6. I don't know who I am anymore.
Who am I?
Who am I? Where am I? Thanks for watching, everyone. Let's host up T-Rex, because T-Rex is in, let's just say, a secret upcoming campaign that I'm going to be running one day, and he's a fine gentleman indeed. Thanks for watching, everyone. We shall see you next time. Goodbye. 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 Goodbye.
Bye.